He's a key to the perimeter game. There's Tim Duncan, the Rookie of the Year in the NBA. Suns and Spurs next on TNT.
Over the years, one brand has won more 4x4 awards than any other name in history. Once again, we've captured everyone's attention. Jeep Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited, 4x4 of the year. Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s in all the world.
Got a few minutes to spare? New Turtle Wax Express Shine can quickly make your car look showroom new. Just spray on and wipe off. Turtle Wax Express Shine is carnauba enriched for a brilliant glow and long-lasting protection. And it works for all finishes, including clear coats. So try new Turtle Wax Express Shine and get a great Turtle Wax Shine in just minutes. And come down hard on grease with new Turtle Wax Purple Muscle Heavy Duty Cleaner.
No multi-million-dollar contracts. No victory laps. Not even a winner's circle. But if you think these weekend warriors who run the SCORE Desert Championship Series take anything for granted, think again. Which is exactly why they run with the Duralast battery from AutoZone. A battery so tough, so dependable, we back it with a 2-year free replacement guarantee. The next time you hit the road, don't settle for anything less.
The NBA playoffs on TNT. Brought to you by Budweiser. Now is the perfect time to enjoy a fresh, cold, Beechwood aged Budweiser. By Jeep, makers of the Jeep Grand Cherokee, Cherokee, and Wrangler. By your local AutoZone stores. For the right parts at the right price, look no further than AutoZone. And by Fila, featuring the new GH4s. Change the game.
The Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, the Phoenix Suns, the San Antonio Spurs. For the Phoenix Suns tonight, Rex Chapman will play, coupled with Jason Kidd in the backcourt. George McLeod, who was spectacular in Game 2. Clifford Robinson in the middle. Antonio McDyess at the other forward. And for San Antonio, they will change just a bit with Del Negro and Avery Johnson in their backcourt. They put Sharon Jackson, Robinson, and Tim Duncan on the front line. Will Perdue was a starter, but tonight will come off the bench. And moments ago, speaking about Tim Duncan, one of the only players in the history of the NBA to win Rookie of the Month awards every month of the regular year. A no-brainer, as Lori Feehan, the Vice President, North America Schick, with the presentation of the Schick Rookie of the Year Award. And I think when you talk about the great young players, Keith Van Horn is a guy, but this kid, clearly Quinn Buckner, was the class of the class.
There's no doubt about it, Kevin. Think about the fact that he was the only rookie in the All-Star game this year, proving that he was ready to play. Coming out after All-Star break, averaging 21 points, but he averaged just 18-2 prior to that, so his scoring average increased as he became more familiar with the league.
Well, they're about ready to announce the San Antonio Spurs, and this is the first playoff game here at the Alamo Dome this year, so obviously there is a lot of hoopla, there is a lot of celebration, and they've got a loud and boisterous crowd on hand. Over 22,000 inside the Alamo Dome for this game tonight, featuring the San Antonio Spurs and the Phoenix Suns. In Game 2, it was a vital must-win for Phoenix. But in Game 1, Quinn, I still think that San Antonio made one of the great statements in this particular 5-game series with the win in the first game and on the road.
Well, it was, I think, important for them. Obviously, they wanted to get one of the games. See, and I think in a 5-game series or any series, as long as you're able to get a split you put yourself in very good position. But the key becomes after that, when you come home, do you maintain that position? And that's what the Spurs have to do. They have to win this game, then come back and get the game played on Thursday.
The interesting note, too, a key aspect now of this series is depth. Phoenix has a 10-man rotation, but San Antonio, Quinn, has not had much off their bench. They are still relegated to a 7-man rotation.
Yeah, well, normally in the playoffs, that's what you'll usually do. You'll shorten your bench, but Phoenix has such an offensive potency that they're able to find 4 or 5 guys that can get you 30 points. George McCloud obviously coming, being active, getting in the game, getting 22 numbers, a playoff career high. So you can look a lot of places on the Phoenix roster to get points. That's the problem that San Antonio has. With the exception of Chuck Person, they don't have anybody that can really come off the bench and get them 30 points, and that's what they have to overcome.
And the third member of our crew tonight, Scott Hastings.
Thanks, Kevin. Obviously a big game for both teams, but by San Antonio going into Phoenix in game 1, they took home court advantage away from the Suns. Talked with Danny Ainge today. He knows how important this game is. He said, this is like our game 1. In fact, he kept talking about his friend Walter, the manager of the Arizona Diamondbacks. He said, hey, this guy gets to wear a uniform. What about me? He's ready to play. He wants to join the team. Guys?
Well, if Danny joins the team, he would fight, scrap, and just like his team. I mean, he did. He had on his good-looking uniform. I mean, it wasn't a Suns uniform, but his shorts, and he's very relaxed before the game.
I'll tell you what, as a Major League Baseball player, Danny Ainge couldn't hit a curve, but he certainly has thrown a lot of curves as a coach to opposing teams. Different lineups, very creative.
You're too much for me. You're just too much for me.
It's baseball season, right?
Yes, it is baseball season. Yeah, Danny had a little trouble throwing the curve, but he will throw a lot of matchups at you differently. The rotations on double teams will be different. He makes you think the game, and when you start doing that, sometimes you're not your most effective.
And you see what's happened in the series through 2 games already. Perimeter scoring has favored the Phoenix Suns. Great crew refereeing tonight, Billy Oakes, Bob Delaney, and Mark Wunderlich. The Spurs, the Suns, and here we go from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. Johnson will take on Kidd.
Oh, mistake right away.
A screen by Robinson for Del Negro. Rebound by McDyess, and it's out to Chapman.
Yeah, George McCloud lost Vinny Del Negro. Vinny Del Negro seems to be a little more comfortable playing at home. So we'll see if that happens as you watch Reg Chapman take what is unusual for most players, but that's a very normal shot for him.
He's got the bad left hamstring. In fact, the Suns so concerned they have brought an acupuncturist from the Valley traveling with the team. They treated it with ice. The size, you name it, they've tried it. 7 to shoot. Robinson and Robinson. David inside, and he slams it down.
Yeah, well, David is going to be a little more active. I think it's his nature to be a little more aggressive. He knows how important this game is, and if he can get some scores early, block some shots, takes the pressure off his team.
Jaren Jackson is on Kidd, and outside Robinson, picked up by Tim Duncan. 11 to shoot, rejected by Robinson and picked up by Jackson.
That's the defensive pressure you want. If you can get Tim Duncan to force him to the middle, then you get some play and a quick drive by Avery Johnson. That's something Danny Ainge does not like to see Avery Johnson get to the hoop.
Avery Johnson in the series averaging over 20 points a game. In the regular year, only 10 points a game.
He's been able to get some lanes because first game, so much attention on Tim Duncan. And then you just knew that some way he was going to find a way to the basket. At that point, just now, he's guarding George McCloud. There's no chance.
Not going to happen. Johnson inside. Johnson to the rack. Duncan and Kidd will go up on a jump ball.
I'll tell you what that was. Avery Johnson exploded and tried to get to the basket. But here first, we'll take a look at him defensively, trying to guard George McCloud. That's 6'7" against 6 foot. That's no shot for Avery Johnson. But he tried to explode by and throw that lob up for Tim Duncan.
2 of the wonderful young players in the NBA, Kidd and Duncan. Kidd was a co-rookie of the year. You may recall a couple years ago with Grant Hill. Del Negro passes up the shot. They swing it over to Jackson, who finds Robinson.
Oh, too easy.
Little fake inside, and Cliff Robinson draws the foul.
Yeah, the reason it was too easy, if he gets the ball in the paint, he can just jump right over him and lay it with either hand on either shoulder. Even though he's left-handed, he would prefer to come back to the other side. Suns will run a number of bodies, including Mark Bryant, who's been getting a lot of minutes at David Robinson. Cliff Robinson picks up his first.
So here's David Robinson, who has been playing, Quinn, a lot of minutes for Coach Greg Popovich. And over 40 a game, which is interesting because It's been a mosaic of injuries for David Robinson. A back, a shoulder, a calf, an ankle, a foot, a knee.
Yeah, he's had more than his share of injuries, but I think Popovich knew that he wanted to get the first game. I think they felt they could get both of those games, Kevin.
2 minutes gone, we're tied at 4. Again, they put McLeod on Johnson. This time Avery got a hand on it. Duncan inside, fighting another jump ball call.
Yeah, it was a good call. The shot was changed because of David Robinson, so Popovich is getting a little bit of what he wants. But then Duncan got the rebound, brought it over his head, and Cliff Robertson quickly grabbed it for the jump ball.
Duncan involved in his second consecutive jump. Jaren Jackson picks this one up.
See, they come down again. We talked about the top of the show. Now the dice is on David Robertson. So now they'll probably try to look a little bit at the Tim Duncan side.
Del Negro to Duncan. Rebound by McDyess.
But he's very well defended. Cliff Robertson almost got his hand on the ball.
Kidd the other way. They've got Clifford Robinson on David Robinson. And he'll back up, and that's about one of the few ways you're going to work on David. Here come the Spurs. Avery Johnson the other way. Outside. Del Negro on a pass, I think, intended for Jackson. Duncan inside with a finger roll.
A great pass by Vinny Del Negro. See, that's the other thing you get with Del Negro on the floor. You got a better passer than Will Perdue. And Will Perdue is average shooting like 60% against his team. 75% as a matter of fact, but he cannot make the extra pass. You need ball handlers against quick teams like Phoenix.
3 minutes gone and a 2-point lead for San Antonio. McDyess misses. Here comes Del Negro. To Johnson. Jackson for 2. Kidd with the rebound. Here comes Kidd now, sifting through defensive players. Out to McLeod. Working on Del Negro. And that's a foul called on George McLeod. Clearing the way with his arm to get that shot away.
Right here, we'll take a look at it. Vinny might have held him a little bit. Oh, Vinny got that arm. He got away with it. There's no doubt about it. Vinny got away because he clamped the arm. So when it came away from the body, all the officials saw was that free arm pushing off.
Oh, when you played 8 years in the NBA and a couple years overseas, you learn tricks like that.
Yeah, you do. I mean, that's the subtlety of playing in the playoffs and just having had some experience.
Robinson and Robinson. It's Duncan inside. Tim Duncan with a nice running hook.
Well, I call them the sevens. It used to be 3. It's just the 2 right now. 14 feet of trouble in there for the Suns.
And the Spurs lead by 4. Already you can see on the offensive glass where San Antonio is thriving. McLeod met by Robinson. Picked off by Del Negro. Down in the block where Duncan roams into McDyess. Maybe the only only Sun that can handle him. That's illegal defense. Thrown on Phoenix. That's the first call on Danny Ainge's defense tonight.
Well, Greg Popovich knows that he has a chance to get some things going down on the block. You won't see many jump shots until they get to find out where the double team is coming from. But you're right. Danny Ainge said that the guy that played Duncan best is McDyess because he's such an athletic player.
David Robinson, against the glass, and he puts it down. He's got 4.
He's determined. I mean, you can see every time. He hadn't looked to pass one yet.
They've given him the keys tonight.
I don't know if they've ever really taken him away from him. They just kind of let Tim do his thing, too.
Dice tried to slam it, not out of bounds, and a foul inside on the young rookie, Timmy Duncan.
Dice is active. You'll see McLeod get it right here. Try to make the pass inside. He gets it to Robinson, and Robinson throws the dice. That's a bad call.
McDyess to the free throw line. And Quinn, in game 1, he said he was nervous and he was forcing shots, but in game 2, in 30 minutes, 21 points and 10 rebounds.
But Dice was good defensively. And, I talked to him a little bit on Friday about the way he was going into Saturday, which would have been game 2 for him. And he said, yeah, because that was really his first playoff experience because he'd been in Denver and had never been involved in anything like that.
San Antonio by 5, and they've led by 6. Johnson, Del Negro, a slight screen by Duncan, maneuvering inside. Vinny Del Negro, and the shooters of San Antonio have got to play tonight.
Well, but Vinny is one. First of all, he's in the lineup early, so he doesn't have to feel the pressure of having to score. Coming off the bench, you feel like you have to do stuff right now. He doesn't have to feel that pressure.
Chapman for 3, offensive rebound for Kidd. A screen by Robinson, and Kidd outside with a nice pass to McDyess. Rebound by Duncan, outlet to Johnson, and down the stretch they come. Up it goes to Jackson.
Oh, good
Behind
pass.
the back to Robinson. And it goes.
But I tell you what makes the play. Tim Duncan's outlet pass is almost to half court, so it passes the Suns before they can get back in defensive transition.
The Phoenix Suns will call time. 14-5, San Antonio on top. And when you're inside a hurricane, baby, you've got to hold on for dear life, and that's how Phoenix feels now.
Frank, I'm thinking about moving to another swamp.
Oh, really?
I'm just not comfortable living in a swamp where assassination attempts are taking place. Every loon with a vendetta, every snake with a sinus headache frightens me.
Hey, snap out of it, Louis. Everybody knows it was you.
Oh, Frank, I had no motive. I love Budweiser, and I love the frogs.
Oh, yeah, you're good buddies. I forgot.
Excuse me, if you would remember last summer, I invited them to that barbecue.
Yeah, well, Louis, you wanted to cook them at that barbecue.
But at least I invited them.
Oh.
You wouldn't have invited them at all.
TBS Destination Sunday on the Superstation. Travel to Namibia to find out why the elephant forgets and the hyena laughs, as told through The Legends of the Bushmen. Sunday, 9 Eastern, only on TBS Destination Sunday.
Over half of American kids are not active on a regular basis, but there are lots of fun ways to get fit.
You can double dutch. Play with your dog. Jump higher. Make a move. Juggle, or at least try to.
The more active you are, better you'll feel. Play fit, stay fit.
Well, if you're a Suns fan, that's about the worst thing you can see. Rex Chapman being taken back to the Phoenix locker room. The tender left hamstring must be acting up. And they're going to go back and take a look at that. So now Danny Ainge has just had one card taken out of the deck.
Yeah, well, what it may mean is Kevin Johnson. What Kevin was doing was putting his jacket back on, because what he doesn't want to do is to give off to San Antonio that he's coming into the game. But you have to remember, Kevin Johnson, at this stage in his career, doesn't want to have to play a lot of minutes. He played 23 in Game 2, but he played a lot more. Matter of fact, he played 44 in Game 1, and that really stretched him. Remember, he missed those 2 late free throws. That may have been a little bit to weary legs.
So now Dennis Scott has come in the game, joining Antonio McDyess, Kidd, Kevin Johnson, and Clifford Robinson. Spurs stay with their starting 5.
Well, this allows the matchup to work out a little bit better for San Antonio, because you can put Avery Johnson, on Kevin Johnson, and you see that time Jason Kidd just go over the top of Jaren Jackson, who's usually the defensive stopper.
Kidd's pretty muscular. That is the first shot hit by Phoenix in their last 6. That breaks an over 4-minute drought. Not a foul.
Yeah, on Kevin, but what was even more impressive is that Vinny Del Negro is a jump shooter. He doesn't normally put it on the floor like that.
Which tells you what?
That he's being aggressive, but more, I mean, it just means he's looking for his offense. I really think Vinny's just more comfortable playing here in San Antonio. Some guys are just like that. You got it either way.
Duncan on the block, rebound by Scott. Here come the Suns, trailing by 7.
And a great defensive play by McDyess, because it was a tough shot for Duncan.
Robinson gets the ball up to Avery Johnson. Here come the Spurs are running again. Robinson has 6 rebounds already. And he's on top and swings it over to Del Negro with 5.5 to play in the first quarter. Into Robinson. Jackson for 3. Rebound by Kidd. Spurs back on defense, and Kidd pierces it, goes right to the rack for 2.
That's where he's most effective. 2-time All-Star Jason Kidd does a good job pushing the ball up the break. Watch him, he'll come. He'll take a little stutter step at the end. And going forward is Jaren Jackson. Kidd able to get to the basket, gets fouled.
Kidd coming into tonight had totaled 29 points and 17 assists in the first 2 games. So maybe not the threat that a lot of people supposed. He misses the shot. Duncan out to Jackson, 2-on-1. And he traveled. Wipe it away. Won't count. He traveled at the...
Got in a hurry. He really wanted to pass it to Vinny Del Negro and didn't hand the ball to Jaren Jackson.
So here come the Suns the other way, and really a couple point guards on the floor, Johnson and Kidd. Interchangeable parts for Coach Danny Ainge.
What they want is try to run pick and roll and get Avery Johnson on Jason Kidd.
That's where KJ is great. McDyess from 20. Oh, what a shot by McDyess.
Oh, Dice can make shots. He's very athletic, but he can make shots from the perimeter. And now you have to come get him.
Half-court game. This is what the Spurs are probably most comfortable in right now. Robinson the screen, the mismatch against Clifford Robinson and Avery Johnson, who's been driving all series outside with the miss. Kidd on a 3-on-3 to the trailing McDyess. Buckle up, baby, is Antonio McDyess. Up high and down hard.
Kidd makes the play. He put so much pressure on the defense, they had to come get him. Dice, they rolled him. He comes up 7s. See Jason Kidd coming at you, taking a look. Shake him up, Jason.
8-0 run by Phoenix in a 1-point Spurs lead.
The moral of the story? Get the world's fastest sport utility vehicle. Introducing the Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited. Peterson's 4-wheel and off-road magazine's 4x4 of the year.
Now, that's the same kick as you get from Miller. Miller, the little kick inside.
Lifetime knows that mothers are loaded with tons of wisdom, intuition, and advice.
Mom said always wear clean underwear.
Don't run with scissors. You'll poke your eye out.
Now Mom's advice could pay off. And Lifetime's Mom Always Said sweepstakes. Tell us what your mom always said, and you could win a trip for 2 to California's Ojai Valley Inn and Spa. So celebrate Mother's Day with Lifetime. What your mom always said could make you a winner.
Register for this spa trip at the Secret Garden in Altoona. You could also win dinner for 4 or a hot spot hot tub. Stop in to the Secret Garden today.
Rex Chapman is gone in the locker room, and the Suns on a run led by Jason Kidd.
Jason Kidd this time does a good job. He moves Avery Johnson. He gets Jaren Jackson reaching, and Dice for the finish.
Well, sometimes in the NBA, you've been a coach, you got to change on the fly, and that's exactly what Ainge has had to do.
Oh, no, he's had to make adjustments, but he really didn't expect Rex Chapman to be that much part of what they're doing. You see him now talking to the trainer, Joe Prosky, and I'm sure they're having some discussion about where Rex is and how he feels.
Chapman comes back out. So we'll see what his status is. Johnson to Duncan on the block where he is so deadly, working into McDyess.
Yeah, but McDyess can play him because he's athletic. He can miss it and get back. See?
What a rejection by McDyess. Retrieved by Duncan. 4 to shoot. Rebound by Kidd.
And look, McDyess is back on the other end, putting pressure on.
So athletic. Johnson, great ball rotation to Robinson inside. Rejected by David Robinson. Mr. Robinson's neighborhood has only room for one. And Clifford might be finding that out from David Robinson.
Now, it'll be interesting to see Tim Duncan here because he doesn't have McDyess and he can beat Cliff Robinson, but that shot wouldn't have gone on Antonio McDyess.
What did Duncan say about McDyess? Most athletic guy I have faced all season in the NBA. He really shuts me down. He said it in the paper in the Phoenix paper.
No, Tim Duncan is refreshingly honest about his game and all those that play. As you take a look at Rex Chapman coming in, he'll just tell you he got it. He said he didn't handle the double teams in game 2 very well, and he's right. He had 6 turnovers out of the 24 that San Antonio had.
Chuck Person is in. Chapman is back in. And here's Dennis Scott bumping and grinding into Person. And he gets it to drop inside.
There's no way that Chuck Person, who missed 9 out of the last 12 games with a back injury, can guard Dennis Scott anywhere. He needs to make shots.
It's amazing Person can walk, let alone play. His back is that serious. David Robinson. And he missed it all, and McDyess cleans it up, and it's picked off by Duncan.
That ball looked like it just slipped right out of Antonio McDyess' hands that he's throwing it to Jason Kidd.
Duncan now 4 of 8 from the floor with 6 rebounds.
Give Phoenix credit. Whatever emotional aspect that was coming from San Antonio, they seem to be able to have weathered.
And that's a foul, and assessed inside. Avery Johnson picks it up as we quickly check in with Scott Hastings.
Yeah, Chapman disappeared in the locker room a while ago, and what that plan is, when he came out, the doctor went with him. Danny Ainge real worried about that hamstring, real cautious. They were going to check him during the first time out and make sure everything's okay. He says it's fine, but the doctor did look at the hamstring, and they will continue to do that and monitor the hamstring throughout the game. Guys?
Well, he just picked up a foul there, getting caught almost in his own screen.
Well, it's a little hole. You can see that Avery's got his arm a little bit. It's a little acting on both sides, but the play happened moments before, and Avery picked up the foul. The officials are just trying to knock out some of the extracurricular play.
Phoenix with their 4th turnover. Avery Johnson gets it outside now to Person. Inside to Robinson. Working on McDyess. McDyess altered the shot, got his fingertip on it.
Did a good job. See, he jumped earlier than David Robinson.
Kidd. Scott outside, and he can't knock it in. Tapped by Clifford Robinson, retrieved by Chapman. Scott again, and a travel.
Got in a hurry. I mean, he started licking his chops because he's out there looking. I got Chuck Person. Danny Ainge knows that that's an opportunity you can see that got away from him.
Because he beat him in the lane just moments ago.
Oh, he can. If he takes his time, he'll beat him.
That's 5 Phoenix turnovers here in the first quarter with 1:43 to play. Robinson again working on Clifford Robinson.
See, they can't even lob to Tim Duncan.
That didn't go down. Phoenix has turned it over the last 3 trips.
So the defensive pressure that you would like to see from San Antonio as a San Antonio fan obviously is there if you're forcing Phoenix into turnover.
Chapman and Del Negro, Kidd and Johnson. This is where Kidd just bullies up on Johnson. A height advantage, and he posts him up constantly on Saturday, and he jousts with him here early in the game in San Antonio tonight.
I tell you, if he's going to turn around fadeaway jump shots, you'll take your chances with that one.
Screen by Duncan. Del Negro with a floater. Oh, what a shot.
Screen got Del Negro in the paint. They get a delay of game.
55 seconds.
No, they're trying to sync up the 24-second clock and the shot clock, and they took it from 52-3 to 55-3. There was 3 seconds that went off on one and didn't go on the other.
It's amazing these referees can watch the action, keep track of the clock, and get it all in sync. But they do.
Yeah, they do a good job of dividing the responsibility, and that's one of them.
Chapman got a little shove there from Avery Johnson. Well, now Avery Johnson in the face of Bob Delaney.
But I'm going to tell you why. Because Avery Johnson, he had his hand on Rex Chapman, no question about it. But the foul is called afterwards. Watch, they don't call this foul. But Rex will knock his hand off. They then call the foul on Avery Johnson. That's why he's disappointed.
But you can't touch him until he dribbles.
But he called the foul on Avery Johnson after he got hit. That's what he was upset about.
Kidd to McDyess. Robinson there. Out to Kidd, works into Jackson, twirling inside, outside to McLeod, 9 to shoot. And McLeod the miss, great offensive rebound by McDyess. Chapman on the perimeter.
They go for one shot though. Rex was getting a little carried away.
A difference of about 3 seconds shot clock to the big clock.
Watch them try to go, they've been trying to go to a 1-5 high post, which is just a pick and roll.
Good screen by McDyess for Kidd. McDyess again with another try. Rebound inside McDyess. Robinson up there over Robinson. Can't get it to go.
Too many offensive opportunity for Phoenix, but you got to give them credit because they got fight Tim Duncan has been guarded well by the Dice.
San Antonio led by 9. Suns won on an 8-0 run at the end of one in Game 3. It's the Spurs by 3, 2017.
One more shot.
One more pass.
One more block.
One more chance to risk it all.
Because in the playoffs,
You win one more time, or you go home.
The NBA playoffs continue on TNT and TBS. Every game counts.
the momentum is shifting in this one.
Duke, get down. It's my chair. Let's go. I'm not playing games.
Okay, here we go again.
Oh, Duke.
He's got him right where he wants him. Just a bit outside.
Hey, those dog obedience classes really paid off.
Trouble finding your seats? So you're in Section A, row 1, seats 1 and 2. Yeah, your seats, they're all the way up there.
Need a little help?
Yeah.
This says Section Double Z, seat 381. You're courtside.
Huh?
That's right, kids. Come on, courtside.
All the way up. Keep going.
You're gonna need these, mister.
CEOs in the cheap seats, fans on the floor. On justice was served.
You think I could borrow these when you're done?
Welcome back. This is an impossible situation for the Spurs. Absolutely no time left on the clock. Wait a minute. What's going on? Is that Phil Mickelson?
It makes perfect sense to me, Tom. He's the king of the lob wedge. This is his shot.
But it's a very tight lie, even for Phil.
It's up. Well, full court pass. Looks like an alley-oop to Robinson. What a perfect pass!
Boy, these guys are good.
Welcome back to the playoffs. The NBA on TNT in very scenic San Antonio, Texas, the famed Riverwalk. And at the end of one, it's 2017 with the San Antonio Spurs on top of the Phoenix Suns. This is Game 3 in a game that Quinn Buckner called pivotal for San Antonio.
No, there's no doubt it's pivotal for San Antonio. And if it's going to work, it's got to work defensively. San Antonio led the league this year with their defensive presence. 71 times they kept teams from scoring over 100 points. They lose Game 2 in Phoenix. Phoenix scores 108 points. So they've got to get active on the defensive end in order to keep the Suns from rising again.
We begin the second quarter. Kidd, Robinson, Chapman with the ball. McLeod and McDyess working on Will Perdue. Checks in for the first time.
I got a bigger lineup now with Avery Johnson out of the game. You see Jaren Jackson is guarding. Oh, great shot by Cliff Robinson.
Wow.
But Avery Johnson is guarding Jason Kidd.
And that'll cause some problems.
Yeah, well, it's a bigger guy guarding him, and Jackson is more defensive oriented, and he's got the size, really. Let's watch McDyess playing Tim Duncan and see how that matchup goes. There's nothing happen inside, so they take Duncan outside.
Athlete against athlete, and that time he fans. I don't know if Duncan has hit a shot over McDyess tonight.
No, he had, and he made tough shots in Game 1 when he had that outstanding game and got 32 points and 10 rebounds.
McDyess has 7 rebounds and 5 points. He'll take it into Perdue. Outside the Kidd. Shot clock showing 8. Little two-man game with McDyess. Up and down, and he's got 7.
Playing with great confidence. Dice turning around, blocking shots, both ends of the floor.
And Phoenix leads for the second time tonight. Earlier by 2, now by 1. Del Negro tries to erase it. Duncan uncovered with a tomahawk. They didn't block him out.
Well, because McDyess was tired. The shot went up, and he watched Tim Duncan get the rebound, and McDyess was standing on the foul line pulling on his shorts.
McDyess the screen for Chapman. McDyess had it in his hands, out of bounds, and off of San Antonio, and Phoenix will inbound.
Yeah, you can take a look right here. Here's the pick and roll. Now Vinny comes off, and he takes the shot. Now watch McDyess. Duncan is inside. McDyess is standing at the foul line, never moves. He is worn out, as you can see, has his hands bent over.
And McDyess leaves. Mark Bryan will take his plate. Mark Bryant has had 2 very good games for the Suns.
Yeah, he's played solid minutes for them. Defensively, I think he's shown his most person, but he's even scored for them.
That's a foul, and it's inside. Called on Vinny Del Negro. Greg Popovich started him tonight at the 2 guard.
Well, they did that in 2 other games against Phoenix, so it's not an unusual lineup. So that helps some of the continuity
during the regular season. Reggie Geary takes the place in the backcourt now with Jackson, Purdue, Person, and Duncan.
A little more of a defensive player, but he won't get the benefit of the doubt if there's a foul. Looks like a foul there on Jason Kidd. See? Now that's a bump, but he won't get the benefit of the doubt. Guys coming off the bench don't ever get it. I mean, it's the nature of how people officiate games. I mean, they'll get it. There's contact, but this is the playoff. All right? I mean, there's a bump, but they've been bumping like that all game. I mean, since the playoffs started.
McLeod in Person. 2 minutes gone in the second quarter. Phoenix is shooting 41%. Kidd again, posting low, outside. McLeod for 3. He hit 6 threes on Saturday. He is yet to hit a 3 tonight on 3 tries.
Yeah, Purdue does it. You're thinking about guys on the other side. Purdue did a good job. He came out and not only helped on one side, but he got the ball off the rebound.
McLeod out to Kidd. Spurs back on defense. Scott and Chapman doubled him for 3. Person at it. Bryant pulls it down and hooks it home.
Yeah, Person didn't bring it down, but look at the small line out on the floor. Bryant is the tallest guy. 6'6", 6'7", if you will, Dennis Scott. Rex Chapman about 6'4". Jason Kidd 6'4". So they've got a small lineup out, and Tim Duncan and Will Purdue have to match up with that.
Jackson to Duncan. Doubled by Kidd. They doubled all game 2. Geary, Chuck Person for 3. Right between the eyes. The rifleman is on target.
That's the guy that I think has to be huge, but I want to tell you something. That was a bad pass. You can't throw a bounce pass like that when you got a guy recovering out. Throw him a speed pass so he can walk into it and he can shoot the shot quicker.
Spurs by 2. Kidd again posting on Geary. Crashing into Purdue. Saved it somehow inside. 9 to shoot. Scott moving in for 2. Rebound fought for Purdue and Bryant, and a foul called inside on Mark Bryant.
Seeing great effort on the part of the Spurs, getting back, contesting shots, running up and down the floor.
The Alamo Dome is rocking. Spurs on top by 2.
Hornets Hawks tomorrow night at 8. The NBA playoffs on TNT.
I want to go where the trails end. Run with the wild.
Look, you could get lost or attacked or it's dangerous.
Harold, I need this.
Karen! Karen!
For whatever places your heart longs to see, we present a completely reinvented Isuzu Rodeo. Watch yourself out there now.
Spectrum Industries Outlet Store, Chippewa Falls North Industrial Park, manufactures furniture right in your backyard. And that means you can stop in and get great savings by buying direct.
Spectrum's Home Furnishing Blowout Sale. Solid oak coffee tables only $49 and hardwood futon frames starting at just $139.
You won't find better quality furniture at lower prices guaranteed. Spectrum Industries, Chippewa Falls.
There's no more guessing about when your local forecast comes on the Weather Channel, because now we show it on the 8s of every hour. That means you can tune in at 8, 18, 28, 38, 48, or 58 minutes after the hour and always get your local forecast. We call it Local on the 8s, weather you can plan on.
Mega Pick and Save's own bakery can satisfy the most discriminating sweet tooth. Let Mega help you with all your baking needs.
So far, what the Spurs have been able to do is get Jason Kidd out here instead of in here, because when he turns, you'll see that it gives Will Purdue a chance to come in and help out, because on game 2, Jason Kidd did this all the time, but he's a step closer. Purdue couldn't get there game 2, able to get there for that block because defensively, Gary did a better job getting Kidd off the block.
Kidd will be on the bench and it's Chapman, Johnson, Bryant, Scott, and McLeod. Very small Phoenix lineup.
Yeah, a very small Phoenix lineup. Danny Ainge has believed all along that you have to match up with him, so they're playing small ball.
Here's Reggie Geary, who followed Damon Stoudemire at Arizona, and then following Geary at Arizona as the point guard, Mike Bibby. They've had some pretty good points for Lute Olson down in Tucson. Oh, against the glass, Duncan makes it work.
Yeah, the difference is Mark Bryant can't get up and get that shot. Antonio McDyess, you can fake, and he can get to it.
Duncan has 12. 8:15 to play here in the second quarter. Chapman for three. Chuck Person has the ball, and here comes San Antonio.
Phoenix is in good position. I've said that all along because I said they've weathered whatever emotional start San Antonio was going to get. No double team. Notice, no double team. Can't handle it. Can't handle it.
Wow. Tim Duncan with 14.
And then you say why? I think what Danny is going to do is just see how it goes, and then he'll make a decision as to whether to go at one point with a three-man rotation or get everybody involved, or is center included in the rotation, which would be a full five-man rotation.
Kevin Johnson notches his first two tonight. Jackson again looking at Duncan. Mark Bryant, very muscular on Duncan. He's doubled by Chapman.
Yeah, well, Duncan has allowed Bryant to push him out.
Jackson inside.
Oh, wait, fine.
Person for three. He's hit two in a row.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
He's warming up.
Yeah, when he warms up, he can really stretch the defense.
Because the Spurs in the first two games, only 27% from downtown. Johnson to the rim. Rebound by the Spurs, taken by Jackson. Gary was free, thinking about three, and now he'll hold it up.
Now, Gary's not a shooter. Jackson actually did a pretty good job. They got to get it to Duncan because Kevin Johnson's got him.
Bryant to Johnson.
That was a heat check. I want to see how hot I am.
Well, he's 2 of 3. He's pretty darn hot. McLeod, Chapman, great move by Duncan with the runner, and he can't get it. Bryant inside, pulls the trigger. Rebound Bryant, rejected by Purdue and picked up by Person.
See, not many teams can do what the Spurs can do. They keep 2 7-footers on the floor that can be effective.
Here come the Spurs shooting 40%. Technical foul, and it's called on Mark Bryant of the Phoenix Suns.
Well, he can't understand why they call a technical foul. I think Danny is trying to figure out what lineup he can get in to be a little bit more effective.
And here's Jackson, a 79% free throw shooter during the regular year.
And their leading three-point shooter is Jaren Jackson at 37%.
Well, Chuck Person heating up for the Spurs. Phoenix 0 of 5 from downtown.
I want to go where the trails end. Run with the wild.
Look, you could get lost or attacked or it's dangerous.
Harold, I need this.
Karen! Karen!
For whatever places your heart longs to see, we present a completely reinvented Isuzu Rodeo. Watch yourself out there now.
Hi! Check out that game last night? What a finish.
Yeah.
Let's keep it light. Want to go for 5?
Sure. Would that be minutes or miles?
Wow. Hey, you want to slow it up?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm having a little problem here.
Barry, we've gone like 50 yards.
Yeah, it's these shoes, man. I mean, this was cool, man. I'm glad we did this, but there's something I gotta do. It's the shoes or something.
Barry, come on, man.
I got things to deal with. I gotta get out of here, man.
The NBA playoffs on TNT and TBS, Best Buy and Deep Impact, the movie event of the summer, bring you Score from Deep, a sweepstakes of earth-shattering proportions. Visit any Best Buy for an entry form and see Deep Impact in theaters May 8th.
Hey, Mom, every time I step on the court, I think of 2 great lessons that you taught me.
Oh, you mean never dribble with your head down and always look to pass first?
No, you taught me the importance of sportsmanship.
That's true. I've always said it's better to be a good sport than to be good at sports. What was the other lesson?
Mom always knows best.
That was the first lesson your father learned.
Mark Bryant does a good job on the glass. He goes up, has an argument that he got fouled right there to right hand by Will Perdue. Perdue does a better job blocking this shot. But then going back to the other end after the Spurs get the ball right here. Keep an eye on what happens. You cannot do this. You see Mark Bryant showing up an official. That is unacceptable. That's why he got that technical foul.
So he is out. Clifford Robinson is in with McDyess and McLeod and Kevin Johnson and Jason Kidd. Chapman on the bench. Checked out the wheel. Still plenty of air in the tire, but he's taking a breather now. Traveling violation on the Rookie of the Year, Tim Duncan.
Yeah, it was a good call, too. I mean, I think Tim Duncan didn't even know what happened. But you know who they put back in the game that's on him? McDyess. The dice is on him.
That is San Antonio's first turnover in the last 11 minutes. Halfway through the first half, inside, McDyess takes it to the rack and comes up with 2. Antonio McDyess now with 9.
Does a good job, does McDyess, reading when his man leaves him. He just follows him to the basket.
Duncan again on the block against his arch nemesis. McDyess, look at the athleticism. He takes Duncan right out of his rhythm. Doubled by McLeod. Person for 3. He's missed 2 in a row. Purdue tried to tap it. Picked up by Phoenix.
Phoenix's defense is solid. McDyess has been good.
McLeod through traffic into McDyess in a jam.
McDyess is on a roll, baby.
Wow.
I'm telling you, he is on a roll. He has been very, very active, up and down, playing defense very well. George McLeod turns the corner, and McDyess is there. There's nothing you can do about it. Tim Duncan, having played a lot of minutes straight, maybe a little winded. They take out Will Perdue and Chuck Person, come back with Del Negro and Robinson.
Duncan has 2 fouls, and here's McDyess good at the line with 11 points, 6 in this quarter. A lot of half-court basketball now.
But this is what Phoenix doesn't want to do.
Robinson is doubled. Del Negro's on top. Shot clock at 7. The Admiral's going to make a move. And it's to fire. Rebound by Kidd. Here come the Suns are running.
You got to keep an eye on McDyess because Jason will find him.
Spurs got back well on defense. Johnson to Kidd. On Avery Johnson. Bad matchup for Avery. A screen by Robinson, and Kidd again exploits the matchup with Johnson.
Made a tough shot because I thought it was a bad move for Robinson to bring his man. And Kidd did the smart thing and took the ball to the other side. Spurs only up 1. Recognition on this team, I don't think it's very good for the Spurs. That's where they got to go with the ball. Cliff Robinson can't guard David Robinson, but Antonio McDyess has been guarding Duncan well. Watch, in your picture, you see Robinson come, so he brings Duncan. Kidd wisely goes away, knocks down the jump shot.
Clifford Robinson picks up his second foul.
Spurs ball on the side.
Robinson to Jackson. Kidd came out.
Good fake.
As did McLeod. And Jackson went by one oncoming defender, then another. He was like a pinball inside the machine that he got to go.
Not exactly what I had in mind, but he did a good job faking out both Kidd and McLeod.
4 minutes to play in the half. Johnson, and he's on the money again. Kevin Johnson has hit 2 in a row, and he's got 4.
Came to the game early, both Saturday and today. Kevin Johnson showed up 3 hours. I mean, he was on the floor before anybody else on his team.
Robinson.
Dice covering it up, baby. Dice is covering it up. Robinson makes a heck of a shot, but Dice makes him take it to the other side.
8 points for David Robinson. Foul called on Avery Johnson.
Robinson can't use quickness. He's very quick for a man his size. You see Dice there. Robinson kind of tosses it to himself, then finds space on the other side. One way to create some space for himself. That's 3 fouls on Avery Johnson, so he's got to sit down.
Phoenix.
McDice finds McLeod and a 3-second violation on Phoenix and George McLeod. Turnover number 6. San Antonio with a meager 2.
Yeah, well, San Antonio in game 2, the one they got beat in, had 17 turnovers and gave up 24 points off of that. And then Phoenix, on the other hand, only had 9 and gave up 11 points. So Phoenix been a lot better with the ball. As I said, Duncan had 6 of those 24 turnovers.
Malik Rose comes in the game.
Big body from Drexel.
Robinson double. Triple. Out to Del Negro for 3 with a second to shoot. Rebound by KJ.
Boy, I tell you, and then you're the coaching staff for San Antonio, you would see something with him that's happened both ends that you don't like. Kevin Johnson knocks down a shot. Vinny Del Negro missed a shot, kind of sighed in exasperation. That's why you're seeing this timeout.
So Kevin Johnson has caught a bit of fire here. He has hit 3 consecutive shots. He's got 6 points, and the Suns, down by 9, now climb to within 1.
I want to go where the trails end. Run with the wild.
Look, you could get lost or attacked or it's dangerous.
Harold, I need this.
Karen! Karen!
For whatever places your heart longs to see, we present the completely reinvented Isuzu Rodeo. Watch yourself out there now.
You know, one way underage drinkers can get beer is if someone who's over 21 buys it for them. If you have friends who are underage and they ask you to buy them a beer, do us all a favor and don't. 21 means 21. Couldn't have said it better myself.
So it's called the AT&T $2 million shootout, huh?
5 shots, $2 million.
$2 million.
It's the NBA Finals.
$2 million.
Could be me.
Just call 1-888-6-FINALS and you could win a trip to the NBA Finals and a shot at $2 million or thousands of other prizes. So call now.
Hey, Lenny, know what you could do with $2 million? You can move that basket higher and to the right.
Just call 1-888-6-FINALS now.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Isuzu, builders of the completely reinvented 1998 Isuzu Rodeo. Isuzu, go farther. And by AT&T, it's all within your reach.
About 22,000 inside the Alamo Dome tonight, and San Antonio leading by 1. Tomorrow night, the playoffs continue on Turner Sports on TBS. It's Game 3, Miami at New York, and what a big win for the Knicks yesterday. That's at 7 Eastern, followed by Seattle and surprising Minnesota. What a win for the Timberwolves last night at Key Arena. But on TNT, Game 3, Charlotte at Atlanta, followed by the Lakers at Portland. All tomorrow, the NBA on Turner Sports.
Yeah, that was a surprise with Minnesota winning that game in Seattle. Again, Stephon Marbury is the one that can get away from me, but he also is very adept at running the club. I expect there will be a very, very focused Gary Payton coming out for Game 3.
A crucial game for Seattle tomorrow. A crucial game for San Antonio tonight. They don't want to see a Game 5 in Phoenix.
No, they really don't. I mean, because, first of all, these are evenly matched teams. The home court obviously favors that team that has that.
It's Rose with 5 to shoot. Kicks it outside to Jackson for 3.
What a big play by Malik Rose. I mean, and he played it solid. And here's a guy that doesn't get many minutes.
He only averages 8 a game.
He only got 1, I think, in Game 1. So he really hadn't played much at all.
Down to 2 minutes to play now. Here's an alley-oop for McDice. Look out below.
Oops. Wow. He got ooped.
What?
Ooped.
2-point game. Spurs on top. They've led by 9. Phoenix has led at one time by 2, but it's been controlled up front by San Antonio tonight. Jackson and McLeod.
I'll tell you what, though, the Phoenix has really fought themselves into, I think, a pretty good position right here.
Nice defense. Altered the shot. did Mark Bryant. Here comes Kidd the other way. The hesitation. He throws it away. Del Negro. Geary to the rack for 2.
Easy basket. Don't see much of that. Danny Ainge is applauding his team, encouraging him to keep going. That time got into a little trouble.
And it's a 4-point game with 1:12 to play in the half.
Yeah, you think about home advantages. For San Antonio, if they hold you under 90, they've been 43-5. When they've done that at home, they're 28-2. As KJ continues to light up.
And McDyess had a nice screen down low, and KJ has gone 4 of 5. He's got 8 points, all in the second quarter. Robinson can't get the nice touch inside. Del Negro tries to help him and down.
Yeah, so the perimeter may open up.
The Spurs perimeter game tonight has been key, and it's a must for San Antonio at the doubling we're seeing by Phoenix on the big guys down low, Duncan and Robinson.
But Kevin, whoever wins the perimeter game tends to win the game because, frankly, Phoenix is a perimeter team, so they've got to win it. But it also, from San Antonio's perspective, because they're so big inside, if you have the perimeter going, you have a chance to throw it inside and take advantage of those opportunities.
Coming up in the Nike halftime report, Ernie Johnson, the Jet, Kenny Smith, and Ike Austin. The highlights from an exciting Pacers-Cavs game. And they'll go over Ike Austin's future, and does he have options?
Oh, he has options. Well, I'm sure Miami would love to have him, even though Miami's record seemed to be better almost since he left.
But you know, it's going to be interesting if he addresses his feelings about Riley, because in the paper, at least, there have been some comments from him. He didn't appreciate Riley sending him to the Clippers. There are a lot of teams they go out to, and of course now it appears as though that trade may be backfiring for Miami because they have missed Austin dramatically inside.
Well, they may have missed him inside, but frankly they had no opportunity to keep Ike Austin, so they tried to get something for him. It was Barry, and Barry didn't do what they needed. They didn't even put him on a playoff roster.
That's a good point. Robinson is 4 of 14. He'll be at the free throw line with a couple, and the second foul called on Bryant. Here's David Robinson.
8-time All-Star David Robinson.
Feeling 33 in August, and says he feels as strong now as he has all season. He's had all those injuries.
This is the one thing that we're watching. Dennis Scott's coming in. I think this is going to be the Achilles heel. I mean, it is for all teams. San Antonio in the series shooting 66% from the line. They're 0 for 4. They shoot 68 on the season. And Phoenix shoots almost 75. That's going to be the difference in this series when it's all said and done. Usually rebounding and free throw shooting is the difference, and San Antonio struggles there. When they won, they shot a lot more free throws. They shot 43 in the first game.
There was a great story in Sports Illustrated a couple weeks ago on free throw shooting and superstitions players have, how they align, how they think, how they practice. And it covered about everything in free throw shooting you can do. But Larry Bird said free throw shooting and defense, very vital things in the postseason.
Yeah, include that with rebounding, and then you're talking about getting the season done.
Final seconds of the first half. McLeod for 3. Come on!
Big three! Big three!
McLeod ties the game at 44. What a shot! And Phoenix coming from 9 down, and a less than healthy group coming up, and McLeod, who was the assassin in game 2, 6 of 7 from downtown, hits Phoenix's first three-point bomb tonight. What a first half. We're tied at 44. Game 3, the Spurs and Suns from San Antonio.
New York, traffic. Here to see Kenny Anderson, playground legend. Spencer White from Reebok. I got the new DMX RXT for you to try out. Give it a shot.
Not bad.
What do you do for training in the summer? Some suicide drills, things like that? Yeah, there's 10 separate chambers there. This foot in the air is moving back and forth between them. That's what gives you that stability, that airflow under your foot. Kenny, what is this place?
All the great players play on this court.
Hey, how you guys doing? Got a new shoe I'd like to show you.
Yo, this is cross training?
Someday, this shoe could be up in lights.
As you may have read on the internet, independent brewmasters and beer experts conducted a tasting of just about every major beer in the country. For 4 months, they sampled ice and regular beers for character, flavor, and overall quality. In the end, the judges named one beer the best tasting beer in America. Old Milwaukee. So when you want the best tasting beer, now you know exactly what to ask your server for. Old Milwaukee.
Send your package in 2 days with FedEx, and people are impressed. Cost up to $11.
Send your package in 2 days with UPS, and people are impressed. Cost up to $11.
Send your package in 2 to 3 days with priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service, and people are impressed. Cost $3.
So, 11, 11, 3. What's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
They give us heroes, they give us hope, they let us laugh and cry and fall in love. Movies touch us as few things can. Any technology that heightens the experience of watching movies at home makes life even more enjoyable.
DVD video from Philips Magnavox. Technology for the heart, the spirit, and the imagination.
24 minutes down at the Alamo Dome and 24 to go, and what a first half between the Phoenix Suns and the San Antonio Spurs in pivotal Game 3, all tied up at 44. We welcome you to our spacious Atlanta studio for the Nike Halftime Report. I'm Ernie Johnson, this is Kenny Smith, and to his left is the guy who has the Clippers fans saying, "I like Ike." Ike Austin is here. At least they're saying that until July 1st, when free agency comes around. Your thoughts on the first half of this thing, a defensive struggle here at 44 apiece?
I mean, we all thought it was going to be a run and shoot, okay corral kind of, guy, but now it's just this great tough defense here. David Robinson helps out his little brother there and blocked the shot, and then now you got on the other end, on the defensive end, you have the same thing with McDyess going to like the 15th floor to block this shot, forces Tim Duncan into a wild three-point shot, and it's been a lot different half than everyone expected. I expected maybe a 60-point half from these guys. It's 44 all.
What an impact by Antonio McDyess on both ends of the floor here, Ike.
Well, I think he's doing it all. He's got 13 and 9 right now at half, and he's coming down, playing tough defense on Duncan, making it real tough and difficult for him. Then on the offensive end, he's running down, getting dunks, and making post-up shots, too.
Yeah, he doesn't seem overly impressed with Tim Duncan's Rookie of the Year on him. I don't get it. Earlier tonight, Indiana and Cleveland, Game 3, and the Pacers going for a sweep. And there's proof that the shaved head look doesn't work for everybody, Rick Smith. And Sean Kemp had himself a big night, but Kemp, a lot of wide-open looks early en route to a 26-point night. Great spin by Kemp. He had 31 on the night. 2-point game at the break, 44-42. Mark Jackson, a career playoff high, 17 assists on the night. Comes up with a steal. Baseball pass to Reggie Miller, who had 18, 56-53 Pacers. But the Cavs, they want to play some more. Sean Kemp kicking out to Brevin Knight, and the rookie knocks down the jumper. Knight had 11, and his family's loving it. And the dagger comes from Kemp. You want a big-time jumper right there, capping a 31-point. Now, what do they call this here, Rich? Kenny.
The sock it to me, Dad.
Oh. Should have known that. No sweep indeed. 86-77. The Cavaliers staying alive, beating the Pacers. Sean Kemp goes for 31 and 7. Craig Sager was working the sidelines after the game.
Are you tired after carrying the team on your back?
I feel pretty good. I'm a little tired, a little exhausted, but let's do or die tonight. If we lose the game, we go home. So we're trying to keep things alive, even though we're a young ball club.
We let Sean get too close to the bucket. He made plays down the stretch, whether getting fouled or hitting Brevin in the corner for an easy jumper. And on the other end, we didn't execute down the stretch at all. Something that's not typical of this team.
Back now with more from Kenny. Don't call me Reggie Smith. Your take on what we saw in here. A lot of rookies playing for Cleveland, and you look at the first two games and say, well, they can't win because the rookies are hurting them. They helped tonight. Yeah,
I think coming back home really helped them. The first two games, they were really out over their head. I think they came home and they played a lot more comfortable, and they played good basketball. Brevin Knight, I think he just did a great job finding Henderson on this fast break, just making the great decisions on the break. Here, Henderson plays great defense, another rookie. He gets it to Brevin Knight. Brevin Knight, he says, no one wants to guard me, I'll knock it down. In game 1 and 2, he probably would have just held it out and not shot anything.
Then the veteran Sean Kemp coming up huge tonight when Cleveland had to have it.
Well, you see him down in low post. He turns around, open J. He's playing well, all through the night. And then...
Yeah, when he's not scoring, great court vision right
Well, he
here.
catches it, he sees Knight open, and he makes the open pass, and he knocks it down. And that's what you got to do to win games.
And the Cleveland Cavaliers win tonight to stay alive. No sweep for the Indiana Pacers. When the Nike halftime report continues, a little Q&A with our studio guest, Ike on his old team, the Heat, and his impending free agency, and anything else we can think of. Next.
Shots, 2 passes, 2. Man, you ain't even letting the ground touch the ball.
There's only one set of prints on this wall. Your son's.
No, I pass. Sometimes.
Pass the ball, dog. Come on, pass me the ball. Pass the ball, dog.
Jimmy, do it. The man says pass the ball.
I'm waiting. GP, I think I got something. It's never easy busting a kid who hasn't learned that passing is fun. You just hope he turns him around.
It's the Taxi Cab 500, and we're off! When you learn to drive.
At Pennzoil,
Here we go.
we make motor oil that performs under the harshest conditions. Stop-and-go driving. If Pennzoil can protect these cars at the Taxi Cab 500, maybe you should ask for it next time you change your oil. Stop, go. Pennzoil.
Been to some nice places.
Yes, I have. Singapore is terrific. That's Prime Minister something. You see that?
Scary.
Fatima, big star. 52 countries in 2 years.
This new software I've installed, it's gonna save your life. It's called Lotus Notes. Lets you collaborate on projects all over the world. You never have to leave the office. It's gonna be great to have you around.
Welcome back to the Nike halftime report. Commit this to memory, folks. Tomorrow night, PBS, the Heat and the Knicks, followed by the Sonics and the Timberwolves. On TNT starting at 8, Hornets and Hawks, Lakers and Blazers. Back here in our Atlanta studio with Kenny Smith and Ike Austin. And Ike, you were traded from a contender Miami to the Clippers this year. What kind of feelings did that leave you with toward the Miami organization, toward Pat Riley specifically?
Well, I think it was a business move for Pat. I thought he thought I wasn't going to be able to come back next year. He didn't think he was going to afford me, and so he made the move. He told me ahead of time, and I understood that as a player. And I mean, it was bad because them guys are in the playoffs right now, and you always want to play in the playoffs. But going to the Clippers, it was a great decision for me, business-wise, as being out in the free agency.
At the same time that you accept that deal from Pat Riley, you also say that they're not going to go as far as they want in the playoffs because you're not there.
Well, that's true. I think that...
Well, that's why you said it.
I mean, that's why I said it, yes. But at the same time, I think that the bench is just not as deep as it was last year when we were in the playoffs. And he is not using his bench like it is. And Brent Berry is not there this year for them to play. So, I mean, what was the trade for?
Well, I just want to be his agent because the going rate for 14 points a game, starting center NBA, $80 million, I'll take that 2% of that. Tell your agent he doesn't have to do the job. I'll do it. I'm the new agent right now.
Yeah, how are you looking forward to free agency? What's it going to hold for you there?
Well, I've always, looked forward to it. Now is the time because the season's over and I can really get into it. But I think it's pay time.
Would anything keep you a Clipper?
I think so. I think some changes, in the organization. Now they fired the coaching and stuff, so they get some new coaching and then add some more veteran players. I think we got a great group of young guys, but I think we need more veteran players to come out and try to contend for a championship or at least making the playoffs.
What's the ideal situation for Ike Austin right now? If someone walks in tomorrow and say July 1st is actually tomorrow, what's the ideal situation for you right now?
Well, I think I want to be in a winning situation. I mean, I got a taste of that being in Miami, and once you...
So the Clippers are out then, man. What are you talking about? They're out, man. He's not there anymore.
I'm not saying that. No, they may have a, you know, we may have a winning situation there with the Clippers. I mean, they're making changes now. So you never know. They get a Phil Jackson or somebody like that in there, and then get a Pippen, and, you know...
Wow.
You never know what happens.
And we got a real story. Dictating Ike Austin's future right here on the Nike Halftime Report. Ike, thanks for being with us tonight. I know you're on Inside the NBA tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll be back to wrap things up on the Nike Halftime Report in just a second.
In our quest for the finest brakes in the world, we tested our pads against other leading brands. With pad after pad, in test after test, the results were always the same. No other brand stopped shorter than Performance Friction Carbon Metallic, the ones we stock at AutoZone.
You're going down, Johnny. We've got a mountain of evidence, your fingerprints, a bag of money, several eyewitnesses. We even got you on video.
I did it.
What?
Hey, I robbed the place.
Have you reached a decision?
This is a tough one. I think we're still undecided.
Looks like another night at the Holiday Inn for you folks.
After Holiday Inn's billion-dollar renovation, everything looks better, even jury duty.
Figaro, 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 Figaro here, hey, Figaro, Figaro there, hey, Figaro, Figaro here, Figaro there, Figaro up, Figaro down, Figaro.
Vigoro Lawn Fertilizer gives you more predictable, continuous feeding, whether it's hot, cold, wet, or dry. Vigoro. People everywhere are singing its praises. Vigoro. Only at the Home Depot.
I'm the Tim Duncan.
And he ain't front end, drives the rock, and he'll show you something.
Kobe
Bryant, slam dunk giant, outplayed the Kobe, son, don't try it.
It's Kobe and Tim, both games are tight. Grabbing points like they grab a Sprite. Game action like movie stunts. Obeying the nurse with Missy scoring points. Obey your thirst, Sprite.
Remember, your night is not complete until you've watched Inside the NBA tonight. Vince Cellini has the Timberwolves' injured Tom Gugliotta joining him for Inside the NBA. They're at the break, third quarter coming up, all tied up at 44. The Rookie of the Year's got 14.
In the Northwest, it rains 200 days a year. In the Sun Belt, the sun never stops. In the Heartland, weather is extreme. Your home has its own climate, and now it has its own paint. New Dutch Boy Climate Guard. 5 different exterior paints formulated to withstand the specific weather conditions in the 5 different regions of the country, guaranteed for 20 years. So wherever your home is, give it the special protection it needs. Give it the lasting look of new Dutch Boy Climate Guard paints.
There's nothing like the feeling of a new car. We bought 3. Armor All Protectant. It shines, it protects. It's new car juice.
Want 50% more shine stuff? Get new Ultra Shine Protectant from Armor All. It's the ultimate shine.
When it comes to dining and relaxation in the Chippewa Valley, Burgundy's restaurant has been second to none for over 30 years. Enjoy traditional American cuisine with exciting daily specials and authentic European seasonal buffets. Plus, Burgundy's Poolside Lounge is a great place to meet friends for daily happy hour drink specials and hors d'oeuvres. For weddings, reunions, conventions, and other special events, Ramada's Banquet Facilities offers the same great food and service. Whether it's business or pleasure, clients or family, Burgundy's and Ramada have something for you.
What bike won the Daytona 600 Supersport race? Think fast. Think Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R. And if you're thinking even more performance, it's the new lightweight ultra-quick Ninja ZX9R. For a limited time, both bikes come with a very special offer. Get a free MDS EcoStream helmet with the 6, or jump on the 9 and get an exclusive Ninja Tech Sport Jacket. Take your choice, the 9 or the 6, but hurry, they're going fast.
See your Kawasaki dealer, Eau Claire Sport Motors at 2457 Highway 53 in Chippewa Falls.
This program is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
This group. The San Antonio Spurs and the Phoenix Suns are tied at 44 in Game 3 in a series that is knotted at 1 win apiece. The Suns were down, but it's been a Tim Duncan and Antonio McDyess battle all game.
Yeah, Duncan gets this one off. Those two shots are over Bryant, but you see right here, Dice hammers that one back and then makes a tough shot for Tim Duncan right there. And then Dice got active on the other end here, showing his perimeter skills, knocking down the jump shot. Kids giving the finish. And the Dice, this time over Will Purdue, showing you a little bit of his game inside, outside. And let me light one for you. He got oop. Antonio McDyess, as you can see, 13 points. Tim Duncan with 14. Rebounds about the same. Duncan has yet to block a shot to McDyess's 2.
Duncan received 97% of the votes for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, 113 out of 116. Keith Van Horn got the other 3.
Well, he should be recognized. He's had a wonderful rookie year himself.
Yeah, he definitely should be recognized. You know, and I don't think it's any coincidence that the 2 best players are 4th-year seniors. They're graduates.
Good point. Let's send it over to Scott Hastings.
Thanks, Kevin. Talk to both benches, and here's what they plan on doing. San Antonio, they got to get better in their transition defense. Also on the offensive glass, and one big guy shooting, the other one's standing around and watch the kid post up. As far as Phoenix goes, they said, we got to keep McDyess in the game. He's killing them offensively and defensively. Duncan's not doing anything against him. Guys?
That miss by the Suns, the first in 9 shots dating back to the 2nd quarter.
If they don't turn the ball over, they can get a lot of shots going for them. How about that? Tower to tower.
David Robinson. Tim Duncan combining for a monstrous slam.
This is something they just flat out have to take advantage of, and I mean the Suns. If you're going to have Avery Johnson down on the block, why wait?
Illegal defense blown against the San Antonio Spurs. That's the first call against San Antonio tonight.
I mean, I don't know. Greg Popovich is deciding how he wants to play down there on the block, but if you get Avery Johnson with George McLeod, I don't wait. I'm the point guard. I'm Jason Kidd. I give that to McLeod. George, go to work. Go to work.
McLeod now on Johnson. We've seen that numerous times tonight. Now Robinson will switch places, goes against Duncan. Robinson with the fadeaway. Short. Clean by McDyess. Out to Kidd in a fresh 24.
That's what Scott Hastings was talking about out of the halftime. The offensive rebounds. And right there, McDyess came with almost the full half court to get there.
McLeod with a great twirling move inside for 2.
Poor help for Avery Johnson. He's just helpless down there.
He's getting punished by Kidd and by McLeod.
Yeah.
Quickly off the screen, Del Negro has nothing but cotton.
They'll turn that corner the first couple of plays with Vinny to make that shot, and then he'll eventually dump the ball down inside. But Dice has closed up the inside.
Del Negro has 8. Chapman adjusting in mid-flight. McDyess running into Robinson. Here comes Kidd. Across the lane, very tough, into McDyess.
He's traveled twice, and I'm sitting here watching. I'm amazed no one has called it.
Duncan with the rebound. Johnson cross-court. Del Negro into Robinson. Fouled. He's got the 2.
Good look by Vinny Del Negro. Del Negro makes the shot on one end. Almost had a steal early, but he got out in the break, and you see looking for him right away is Avery Johnson. You can see the white shirt you saw was David Johnson. You see getting there late is Antonio McDyess picking up the foul.
And that's his first.
That's what was amazing about what he did in the first half. Oh, he's going to call him for traveling. Jaren Jackson got an offensive rebound. See, Dice played that good defense and didn't foul.
Number 30, Clifford Robinson is third. 7-2.
That is 3 fouls on Clifford Robinson.
Jaren Jackson trying to tell the official that he was going up, but there's no chance they're going to give him that.
Robinson and Robinson. Foul on Robinson. Wipe it away. That's Clifford Robinson.
You know, I've seen it twice now. They've made the calls, it seems like, late. I mean, because he's standing out there. He's hand-checked him, you know, almost from the beginning, but he's just picked up his 4th foul and Cliff Robinson. So now Phoenix is going to have to go smaller.
So this is 4, and there goes Robinson. So now it is Chapman, McLeod, McDyess, Kidd, and Dennis Scott early in the second half, and he came in early in the first half as well.
Dennis Scott is the guy. He probably can score on Jaren Jackson if he has to.
Screen by Duncan inside. Great pass by Johnson to Robinson. Loose inside. Claimed by McDyess. Here come the Suns.
Good defense by the Suns to get that one.
Kidd hesitates. McDyess.
He'll have a tough time there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, that was not an easy shot. A turnaround fadeaway is not an easy shot under pressure. He just made it.
On the baseline.
Yeah, on the baseline. I mean, it was very much like what Tim Duncan did in Game 1. He made tough shots.
9.5 to play here in the third. Spurs by 2. On the block, double team is Duncan. Got it back. Little 2-man game with Avery Johnson using the glass, and Duncan in the game has 16.
But they did a good job. He got double team. He threw it out, got it right back to him, and he went right over the top because he's either got McLeod trying to guard him or Dennis Scott.
Chapman with a slight screen from McDyess, who gets the loose ball. Kidd off to Scott.
Dice had 3 offensive rebounds out of his 9 in the first half. He's got 2 offensive already here in the second half. That offense is not looking smooth for the Suns.
Screen by McDyess, slithering inside his Kidd. Had it knocked away, picked up by Johnson. Ahead Del Negro, 2-on-1 to Jackson.
Danny Ainge has got to get control. He wanted his team to play defense. Their transition right now is not good enough.
And the Spurs, just like that, in the blink of an eye, up by 6. 8.5 to play in the third. It's 54-48, the San Antonio Spurs.
No one taught me more about teamwork than my dad. They called him Mr. Mean because he never smiled. He didn't smile when he volunteered to coach the kids in the neighborhood. He didn't smile when he drove the team to every game, or when he worked with kids for hours on his own time. He showed me anyone can make a difference if they just get involved. I'll tell you something else about my dad. He's got a great smile. Team up with your community.
Yeah.
Meet Sean Graham, veteran stuntman. This is how he lives. This is what he drives. What else would he drive? Chevy S10, like a rock.
We made it! Is it still there?
There's only one Mile High taste. Coors, the original.
The NBA playoffs on TNT, brought to you by Dutch Boy Paints. Give your home the lasting look of Dutch Boy. By Original Coors, there's only one Mile High taste. Coors, the original. And by Chevrolet Trucks.
Spurs on top, 54-48.
Danny Ainge wanted to talk about his defense because what you have to watch here is the double team will come. Tim Duncan will wait, gets it, he throws it out. Now, Jason Kidd has to go back, but watch what Tim Duncan does. He maintains his position and just gets the pass right back. Kidd can't get there. Nothing McLeod can do. Duncan's too tall. That's the way you're trying to handle a double team. You throw the ball back out. You can't double team a man in this league without the ball.
Kidd was caught in the transition, something that afflicted Duncan on Saturday. He was trying to go from down low and out to the perimeter guarding George McLeod or whoever was on the block.
Well, he can do it if you're playing a non-shooter. But, you know, you're playing a guy that shoots the ball, then it makes it hard for the kid. That time I thought he could have been a little slow going back out.
Chapman is in with Scott, McLeod, Kidd, McDyess with the ball. 5 to shoot. Plowing his way inside. Grinding and bumping into Robinson.
That's a bad call. I don't care how you cut it. That's a bad call.
And the foul called for the first time tonight on David Robinson, who you thought going in was the key for the Spurs.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, David Robinson, if you're maintaining your position, hands up, I'm not sure where he's supposed to go. That's a bad call. And officials do make bad calls.
McDyess with an unbelievable vertical leap. In fact, he was tested at the University of Alabama, where I went to school. He jumped so high, he outmeasured the measuring stick.
He outmeasured the measuring stick.
That's
or out-jumped it. One of the two. But anyway, they couldn't measure it. They say his vertical is about 47 inches. That's strong.
Set a record.
Yeah, I mean, and what is interesting about him is he has this whip power jump off of 2 feet.
It is a 4-point game. Spurs on top by 4. Johnson bobbing inside. Handcuffed was Robinson.
Yeah, but McLeod can't guard it. The point guard has to see these things. McLeod can't guard David Robinson in the month of Sundays. Now, David Robinson can go on the point and guard George McLeod, but this just can't happen. You see, obviously, you can see the hands holding David Robinson.
But McLeod's low post defense has not been that bad through the first 2 games.
No, but McLeod hasn't been playing David Robinson.
McLeod with the steal over Robinson. Here comes Phoenix in their point. Jason Kidd. Phoenix looking to get some tempo and some momentum back to their game.
With some flow is what they're looking to get.
And Chapman has that one whistle over the head of McDyess.
I thought that was Phoenix ball because I thought for sure Tim Duncan hit that.
The last time down, San Antonio turned it over. That's the first turnover in the last 80 minutes. 80 minutes by Avery Johnson, dating back to the second quarter of Game 1. That is some pretty close to the best basketball. David Robinson.
They decided to go over the top. They've had trouble getting it on the baseline, on the inside. If you can't go left or right, you can't go under, go over the top. And they're having Robinson catch it from Duncan.
And look at this, Johnson against McLeod. Easy pickings inside for McLeod.
But one of the problems that you have is if you let a man take one dribble, there's no way the help can get there in time. If he can take one dribble, get to the basket, help can't get there.
7 to play now, and the alley-oop inside for the double team Duncan. What's he do? Right over the top.
Danny's, yeah, and he's making the move now. He's got Mark Bryant ready to come in. What they've done is big on big, throwing the ball. Now you got a chess move where you got to get out guarded.
Kidd thought about it. Back down to the double team McLeod now. Robinson quickly over there. Athletic catch by Chapman. Shot clock at 4. And here comes Kidd for 3. Rebound by Robinson. Outlet caught by Del Negro. Here come the Spurs. Robinson with 10 rebounds.
They're going to try to get it to Duncan if they can.
Inside and over the head of Duncan.
Yeah, because they had inside George McLeod. And they're probably going to have to look. Oh, they're going to leave the lineup in, but they get a little bigger body. Got Mark Bryant in the game, and he can guard one of the towers.
San Antonio has had a wonderful beginning to the second half. They scored on 10 of their last 13 possessions.
Yet they're just 6 points ahead.
Which is pretty remarkable.
Yeah, it really is. Phoenix is a team that can score. That's the one thing about it. If you guard them, you have a chance because they can get numbers on the board.
But they need Chapman to score. And Chapman gets it at the other end. Here comes Kidd. The flow now a little bit ragged. And maybe Chapman can douse a 3, and it's off once again.
You may call it ragged. They call it Phoenix Suns ball. Phoenix likes to play at that tempo.
Del Negro way off the mark. Here comes Kidd again. Baseline to baseline. Kidd got the screen from McDyess. Back inside, and outside he has to go because of the defense of Robinson. Chapman is cold.
Cold, 1 of 9. You call it cold?
McDyess with the rebound by Del Negro.
Good play here by Avery Johnson. Put his hands up and said, let's hold up. Slow it down. You don't have a chance to take advantage of your size if you run it up and down the court.
Spurs on top, 58-52. 5.5 to play. Look at the shooting percentage in this quarter. Avery Johnson with the hook shot.
Those are the shots he's been making that makes him hard to defend. Danny Ainge doesn't like those little runners.
Avery Johnson tonight has gone 2 of 4. McLeod into McDyess. Johnson, look out below. Wow.
David came to double. McDyess went right to the basket, staying there.
Under 5 to play. The Spurs 48% from the floor. The Suns 43. For the game, that is, that we just saw in the third quarter. Completely different. Jackson drives. He slashes to the rack and comes up with 2.
Came up with a little English from up and under.
He is so quick. Almost too quick for your eye.
They've made the switch, and Vinny Del Negro is now guarding George McLeod.
And doubled by Robinson. McLeod regathers the ball, and here comes Kidd.
May not have enough time to post him up.
Shot clock at 4. Kidd tried to slash. McLeod from outside. Rebound flying off his hands. The Spurs will go the other way.
And the Suns are really struggling with their flow. You see Avery Johnson. Watch this. He goes in. Dice to come up. Late. Gets, woohoo. Nice move by Avery Johnson.
Bryant Kevin Johnson in the game with McDyess, McLeod, and Kidd. Chapman again to the bench. Looking on that left wheel.
Oh, you got to look at that one. He went under the screen. Yeah, if he's going to go under the screen, look at it.
Avery Johnson has been a star in this series so far. Out to Jackson, 5 to shoot. Jackson kicks it back to Avery Johnson. Rebound by Jaren Jackson.
Yeah, Robinson keeps it alive, though. Phoenix is now allowing all the things they hadn't allowed before, Kevin. Extra shots, easy baskets. They had not allowed that before.
Rebound by McLeod. It's a 62-54 San Antone lead. Johnson inside, caught by McDyess. He uses his athleticism to bump and grind into Duncan. A foul called on the Rookie of the Year, Tim Duncan.
Good move by Dice. He does a good job there.
Duncan with 3, and that's the story tonight for Rex Chapman, which is not good. He had 16, although looking rusty on Saturday, and tonight he is dead right. He's frozen.
His problem is, Kevin, he can't get a rhythm. I mean, if he doesn't get it early, his problem for Rex Chapman after that is because he's got that bad ham. You sit in too long, he can't warm it up.
And there's little doubt that when Chapman is on, this team begins to roll. So his ineffective play and his sporadic play, because of the injury, is affecting, I'm sure, the Suns' tempo a little bit.
Well, Steve Nash is just getting in the game, as you see on the floor. But with Rex Chapman, what the Suns know they have is a big game player, a guy they know will make plays for them.
Duncan to Jackson. Jackson to Johnson. Screened by Robinson. Look at the time for Avery Johnson.
Boy, he made a shot, because I thought Steve Nash played him as good as he could be played to force him back down to the baseline and shot it over Bryant, who never really left the paint.
The X factor for the Spurs, Avery Johnson's got 8 points. Coming off games of 20 and 22 in the first 2 games. Kidd, nothing doing down low. On top it goes to KJ.
Yeah, here they were trying to get Mark Bryant, who's been guarded by Duncan because he's already got 3 fouls.
KJ the miss. Duncan with the rebound. Here comes San Antonio grinding the Spurs. Johnson outside. Del Negro with the fake by Kidd, and it's off. Rebound by Robinson.
See, you got more ball handlers. They'll make the decisions out there. Will Purdue gets that one out there, and he'd have a tough time making a move. They have 3 ball handlers on the floor.
Duncan another screen. Jackson. The Spurs have their biggest lead.
Penetration will always create problems for you. Avery Johnson able to get into the middle. Jaren Jackson on the 3.
The Spurs get their 4th 3-point shot tonight. 67-55, San Antonio.
For sports news and scores around the clock, ask for CNN Sports Illustrated.
You are my sunshine.
Go for it, Ben. The Chevy Blazer. A little security in an insecure world.
Dad, can we body surf? Wow, can we?
The waves are
Wait a minute, hold on. Come on, Shorty. Everybody else there? I'll race you to the You're not gonna beat me.
Hey, don't go in the water.
Everyone's flipping for pay-per-view. Welcome to Good Burger.
Nickelodeon's Keenan and Kel are serving up laughs and cooking up trouble.
This is what I call fast food.
Fast, easy, and delivered right to your home.
Can I take your order?
Order Good Burger on pay-per-view and get a sneak peek of Cat Dog, Nickelodeon's all-new two-headed tune.
Okay.
A feast of family entertainment comes home.
Now, that's the same kick as you get from Miller. Miller, the little kick inside.
San Antonio on top, 67-55 with Quinn Buckner. This is Kevin Harlan. Ketchup has been the word for San Antonio. First two games. In game one, they trailed late in the third quarter by 11. Game two on Saturday, they trailed by 16. Not tonight, a complete reversal.
Well, that's what Greg Popovich wanted. He thought it was too hard, and I agree with him. It's much too difficult to keep coming back on teams, particularly the Phoenix Suns, a team that can get out to average about 100 points a game. So wisely, they've been able to stay in it. But they're at home. They're expected to control this. And again, 25-2 when they keep teams under 90 points. That's the challenge for the Spurs.
Rex Chapman tonight, as you take a look at Jason Kidd. Rex Chapman has gone 1 of 9. And here is a guy that Danny Ainge was counting on explicitly, but the leg must be still tender, obviously, and there's his story tonight. Chapman hit the first field goal of the game for the Suns. Since that time, he's missed his last 8.
Yeah, I think Danny was depending on him, but Danny was depending on him very cautiously because, as we got from Scott Hastings, they took him inside so they can look at that leg, and Danny was apprehensive about playing in game 2, so he didn't know what he was going to get.
McDyess. Phoenix hits just their second shot from the floor in the last 8.
Picked up the pressure as well. Got the guards out of the full court.
McDyess is keeping Phoenix alive. They're down by 10 late in the third quarter. Allegro doubled and trapped inside. Duncan from Robinson.
Boy, what a good read by David Robinson. He popped on the pick and roll and looked to see that Tim Duncan was standing above everyone under the basket.
Kevin Johnson. McDyess again. He just hit from there, and it's on his fingers. Picked up by Jackson. McDyess has 9 of Phoenix's 13 third-quarter points tonight. We've got about a minute left in the third. Screen by Robinson. Johnson.
I've been wondering when he was going to miss that.
Here comes
the kid at his
2-on-1. Handcuffed and hog-tied by Del Negro. Del Negro picks up the foul. That's about all he could do.
Yeah, that's all he could do. I got to tell you, though, by the rules, you got to make a play on the ball. And I'm trying to see, did I miss something? I don't think so. I don't know. He doesn't make a play. Well, you know what? He gets his hand on the ball. That's a pretty favorable look for the Spurs there.
Jason Kidd, who came over last year and now leads the team in the playoffs for a second consecutive season. Tomorrow the playoffs continue on Turner Sports. On TBS, it's Game 3, Miami and New York. From the Garden, 7 o'clock Eastern Time, followed by Seattle and Minnesota. And on TNT, Game 3, Charlotte and Atlanta, followed by the Lakers and Portland. What a war that has been.
So sit down, get your favorite soda, a little popcorn. A lot of good basketball. The NBA playoffs on.
A wonderful time. Here comes Jackson, final 50 seconds of the third quarter. Nash is on Johnson. Purdue is in the game. For San Antonio, coupled with Duncan up front. Robinson is resting. Duncan from 15. Oh, what a silky, smooth stroke by Duncan.
They've exploited Mark Bryant every time they've taken Antonio McDyess off of it.
71-59 the Spurs. Kevin Johnson over Johnson. Batted by McDyess, but right back to Avery Johnson, slowing it up with a second separating the game clock and the shot clock.
That's what a hitting point guard does. One of the first things you do is make sure you know time and clock. Avery Johnson doing a good job with recognition there.
Del Negro picked up
too quick. They shot that one too quickly.
Trying to beat the buzzer inside.
Oh, my goodness.
McDyess all trying to get it, and they can't at the buzzer.
Did you see that dunk that McDyess tried to throw down?
He couldn't get it. But tonight, the Phoenix Suns and coach Danny Ainge following at the heels of San Antonio and documenting the wake. And it's been a rough one. The Spurs, as we go to the fourth, on top, 71-59.
Got your Bud Light, you can't hit my friend. Let's go. I'm thirsty.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Looks like you're buying.
Make it a Bud Light.
Coach is calling for the heat.
Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo, recommended #1 by dermatologists. It works. Works on all 3 major itchy, flaky scalp conditions. The leading prescription dandruff shampoo doesn't. Neutrogena T-Gel Shampoo. It works.
We've discovered 2 comets. They're both headed for Earth.
On May 8th, get ready for the biggest event in human history. Deep Impact, rated PG-13, starts Friday, May 8th, in theaters everywhere.
Your kids give you plenty to worry about. Your car shouldn't. That's why you need a Chevy Lumina. It'll go up to 100,000 miles before its first scheduled tune-up. So get a Lumina and relax. They'll grow out of it. You did, didn't you? And you can look forward to Lumina's great resale value.
So it's called the AT&T $2 million shootout, huh?
5 shots, $2 million.
$2 million.
It's the NBA Finals.
$2 million.
Could be me.
Just call 1-888-6-FINALS and you can win a trip to the NBA Finals and a shot at $2 million or thousands of other prizes. So call now.
Hey, Lenny, know what you could do with $2 million? You can move that basket higher and to the right.
Just call 1-888-6-FINALS now.
It's 71-59 at the end of 3, and you can see where the Spurs dismantled Phoenix, Quinn, in that third quarter, 27-15. It was a disaster for Phoenix.
No, they really have had a very difficult time getting anything going.
Let's quickly check in with Scott Hastings.
Kevin, thanks. I'm right here behind Phoenix's bench. Talked to Rex Chapman just a while ago. That hamstring starting to bother him again. I said, "You okay?" And he said, "No, he is not." They have brought an acupuncturist with him on this trip. He goes through treatment to him with this acupuncturist at least once a day. If Rex Chapman plays in this game, in the rest of this game, it's going to be on pure heart because he is a hurting unit over here on the bench, guys.
Hey, Scott, are they using ice or heat on that left hamstring during the times he's on the bench?
Yeah, they look like they got a heating pad. When he's sitting down, it looks like he has a heating pad. He's tried everything imaginable to try to get through this. And Danny Ainge told us before the game, he doesn't know how this young man is playing. He believes he's in so much pain. It's purely on heart.
Duncan has 22, and he had 8 in that third quarter. Duncan inside, tough shot, twisting shot, rebound inside, tried by Purdue, and he draws the loose ball foul. That's his first.
Tim Duncan still trying to work his magic. Having a very difficult time looking at the second-hand field goal percentage by the Spurs, 65%.
The Spurs in the fourth quarter to a great fourth quarter shooting team so far through the first 2 games. They had to force that one up. And Purdue lassos the loose ball. Del Negro.
Throw it to him with Mark Ryan on him. Don't be so eager to do it if you can throw it with Antonio McDyess on him.
Well, 2-man game. Del Negro on the double team. Duncan. Shot clock is at 7. Outside, wisely to Person. Rebound by McDyess.
Rebound? I mean, that's a brick. I don't know if you can rebound a brick like that.
Person has it ahead. Avery Johnson to the right.
What a good pass by Chuck Person. I mean, he threw that pass, so all Avery had to do was catch it and put it in the basket.
Avery Johnson with 10. That's his season average. But he's been far from average in this series. Johnson and Johnson.
They want to try to get a switch. They can get Kidd and Avery Johnson matched up.
McDyess. Knocked away and out of bounds.
2 seconds on the shot clock.
It's down to 2 seconds to fire. That'll be tough.
I said this about 5 minutes ago. Phoenix offense has not given them, created any shots for him.
It's Dice. Rebound by Duncan. Out to Johnson. Purdue is on the lead, but back go the Suns on defense, and Del Negro, who has a 3 in his pocket tonight, is to April. Johnson wiggling free and a foul call. It's on Jason Kidd.
This game gets up and down. Jay Kidd gets involved in it. The other thing we haven't seen a lot of, and I thought was very effective in game 2, was Jason down on the block. The one time he really struggled, we showed on our telestration how he was being pushed off by Reggie Geary, no less, and they really haven't gone back to it, and Benny drills another one.
Del Negro puts in his 10th point tonight, much to the chagrin of Danny Ainge. This is the biggest San Antonio lead tonight, 75-59. Johnson through traffic, and he weaves his way for 2. Pretty play by KJ.
Came with that left hand, was able to get through traffic, and Greg Popovich's Spurs did nothing to close it down. KJ showing some quickness steal.
Phoenix is on life support, trailing 75-61.
The 300 idea is the idea of a powerful, responsive, nimble automotive machine.
44 years later, the soul lives on. The 99 Chrysler 300M, coming late May.
FILA welcomes you to the Tanui and Chabet guided tour of Beantown. 1. Fenway Park. 2. The Charles River. 3. Faneuil Hall. 4. Copley Square. Last stop, finish line, Boston Marathon. We hope you've enjoyed our high-speed transportation. Thank you for traveling, and have a happy day.
It's unique, and it's exciting, and it's a basic automotive experience.
44 years later, the soul lives on. The 99 Chrysler 300M, coming late May.
You know the game. Now get inside it. Log on to NBA.com and reach every team and every player. Explore NBA news and notes. Visit the NBA store. Or chat with NBA players and coaches. Go courtside for live playoff action and exclusive series-by-series analysis.
Playoff excitement is in the air!
It's all here. The online world of the NBA. Go to the playoffs, NBA.com.
Vince Cellini back at TNT Central. One of our Tuesday night games, the Sonics and Timberwolves heading to Minnesota, tied at 1, and Kevin Garnett can't wait to get home.
It's going to be a zoo, so get all the zookeepers, the policemen, the watchmen, security guards, because it's going to be crazy when we get back home.
Thanks, Dog. The winner of that series will face the Lakers and Portland winner. Lakers leading that series 2-0. Now back to the Alamo Dome. Kevin Harlan and the mighty Quinn.
Mighty Quinn. All right, thank you, Ernie. 75-61 San Antonio. 9:46 to play. What does Phoenix have to do to get back in this game?
They can't get the game in the tempo they want. Every time they try to run, they haven't been able to get it down. Their real problem is if they don't make shots, they can't get into it because they can't get easy points because you have the sevens in there. Either David Robertson, Will Purdue, and Tim Duncan, or any combination thereof.
I believe you led our broadcast tonight by saying this was a must game for the Spurs. A loss, and that guarantees Phoenix a game 5 back home in the Valley of the Sun.
And that's just something I don't think the Spurs want to have to deal with. They came down to the end of the season last week for the decisive factors coming up in terms of where the game was going to be in terms of 4 and 5, who's at home. But this game is long from over. We have 9:43, and Phoenix can score points in a hurry, and they have yet to press.
Pulls this week, and Johns with a little crossover move out to check person for 3. Rebound by Kidd. Now they got to get out of the shooting off to the races. And here comes Kidd. Right to the rack, falling hard. Down he goes. Down goes McDice. Here comes San Antonio. Del Negro flies in for 2.
They were looking to try to get something going, Chuck Person was on the right. Avery Johnson did the smart thing. He didn't throw it to him. Because Chuck Person would have let it fly instead of looking for the fast break.
Down to 9 minutes now to play in the fourth. Kidd posting up on Del Negro. Tries to get it inside and does, and is fouled.
You see, Kidd is such a load down there. Jay Kidd wanted a foul. That's what he's talking to the official about. The shot he threw up that was more than a little acrobatic didn't get the foul call. You see Kidd quick enough. They didn't call his travel on him because they thought he got pushed before that.
Del Negro goes down. Got the 2 7-footers in there. McDice dueling with Robinson.
Well, see, David has played him out there twice, and he's made his jump shot. So David will play him close enough that he has to shoot a difficult shot now.
Out to Kidd for 2. Big shot by Jason Kidd.
Boy, I mean, he is really upset because he thought that was a 3.
Kidd's got 12. Chapman still nursing the weak left hamstring on the Danny Ainge bench.
I don't think Danny will play him anymore. I don't think he can afford to risk it. And if they're going to beat San Antonio, it seems clear he's got to beat him with this lineup.
A 3 by Person. Oh, you bet. You bet. Right down the middle.
Well, you like shooters to have no conscience? Chuck Person has no conscience when it comes to shooting.
He's got 9, and he is 3 of 7 above the arc. McDice answers at the other side, saying touche.
Man, nice little pick there by Kevin Johnson.
24 for McDice. Under 8 to play in the game.
I have to tell you, coming in, I wasn't sure about McDice as a real player in the league. He's starting to come around. Down on the block, guarding people. He's athletic. He's made jump shots, showing some of those signs that people weren't certain of, particularly Denver when they traded it.
Clifford Robinson just assessed his 5th foul of the game.
We'll see. Will they go right to Clifford Robinson if Avery Johnson gets the ball, because Cliff does not want to foul out.
We're going to bring in Hot Rod Williams in a second, who didn't play at all on Saturday.
No, he didn't get any time.
A little head fake by Duncan, then he floats inside the lane. Good screen out by Robinson on Robinson. McDice held by Person.
Hey, Tim Duncan threw up a brick because of that defense, too, by the way. See, I thought that was a bad offensive set for San Antonio. Right here, Duncan gets the ball, tries to be, now the quickness allows McDice to get back, help out even though he was faked out, and then Robinson goes down. But the problem was, David Robinson had Cliff Robinson on him with 5 fouls. Why would you not throw it to him and let him milk it?
Here's McDice and Duncan again. Back and forth they've gone. Robinson was in there, as was Hot Rod Williams, who picks up the loose ball foul.
Well, Hot Rod wasn't going to get up in a hurry to get that. He just got off the bench. Rod needs to get a little oil going in that hot rod before he... I mean, that happens to all players when they start moving along in the years.
That's the shooting in the series for the season. Phoenix at 46% and San Antonio at 46%.
Remember, Phoenix led the league with a new record this year of 41% for opponent field goal percentage. So 46, 47% is a good number for them.
Johnson fading away. Rebound Kidd. And he'll feed on top, and it's off of Phoenix. That's a costly turnover with 7 to play in the game when you're down by 14.
It really was. Jason Kidd saw 2 people, McLeod and Johnson, in the same place. San Antonio wants to take a timeout. They want to try to make sure they get a good look as they go back for this possession.
The clock isn't ticking for the Spurs. It's hammering. 80-66 with 7 to play in the fourth.
Check out that game last night? What a finish.
Yeah.
Let's keep it light. Want to go for 5?
Sure. Would that be minutes or miles?
Wow. Hey, you want to slow it up?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm having a little problem here.
Barry, we've gone like 50 yards.
Yeah, it's these shoes, man. I mean, this was cool, man. I'm glad we did this, but there's something I got to do. The shoes or something.
Barry, come on, man.
I got things to deal with. I got to get out of here, man.
One day, science will create a pill for men's hair loss. That day is today. Introducing Propecia, the first pill for men with certain types of hair loss. In clinical studies, the vast majority of men, 83%, maintain their hair count, and most, 66%, regrew some hair. You may need to take it daily for 3 months or more to see results. Propecia is for men only. A small number of men experience certain sexual side effects. Each occurred in less than 2% of men. Women who are or may potentially be pregnant must not use it or handle broken tablets because of the risk of a specific kind of birth defect. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist and read the consumer information they can provide. To men who want to treat their hair loss, this could be the most exciting commercial they've seen in years. Propecia, helping make hair loss history.
It will take courage to face it.
You're gonna die if you stay here, you know that.
And a miracle to survive it.
Get out of there!
We will prevail. Deep Impact. Life will go on. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, May 8th. In theaters everywhere.
Hornet Hawks, tomorrow night at 8. The NBA playoffs on TNT.
Now time to take a look at tonight's Dutch boy in the paint. And numbers fairly close, actually, with the Spurs and supposedly all that size to dominate Phoenix, but not the case. In the rebounding category, the points, a little bit different story, but rebounding, they're right there, Phoenix is.
But they've been there, you know, just about in every game. It was 37-33 in game 2. I mean, and the numbers pretty much stay that close. Game 1, they were tied in rebounding, and a lot of that is the quickness of the Suns trying to match the size of Tim Duncan and the Spurs. So sometimes, you know, because first of all, rebounds, about 90% of them are under the rim anyway. So you don't have to necessarily be tall. What you have to be able to do is dominate it defensively. Tonight, at least, that's what San Antonio is doing. But they didn't do that in Game 2. Phoenix dominated defensively.
And Phoenix, Quinn, has almost been a nondescript game.
They've never been able to get in the flow. It's a little bit more like Game 1, except Tim Duncan hasn't had the outstanding contest in terms of flow.
6:50 in the game now. Jackson finds Robinson, who's met by both Kidd and Hot Rod Williams, but they go outside to Jackson. He buries a 3, and the Spurs in complete command, 83-66.
And that's huge coming out of a timeout. To be able to get a good look is one thing, but to get a good look and drop a 3 makes it even bigger.
Kidd and Jackson, screened by Williams. Kidd fires and knocks it in.
You know, that was a play. He pushes. The man always wants to stay between the ball and the basket. And what Hot Rod did was he just ran David Robinson down and made David Robinson the screen so the Suns could come off and get a shot.
Walking up high, the shot clock at 10. Knocked away, loose inside. The plan twister, and Robinson comes up with it, but he threw it away. Kevin Johnson, buckle up for George McClaw.
McClaw gets it in. Robinson didn't say anything. The fans thought it was a foul.
That may spark Phoenix.
Well, they need a spark. I mean, they've got to find a way to start chipping at this, and this is the end to do it defensively.
5:44 to play in the game. Jackson and Robinson. Hot Rod is there. Kidd to double. Jackson outside. Chuck Person fakes the 3. Maneuvers in on KJ and can't hit him. Rebound by McDyess.
Right ideal. Person just can't finish. 3 here would force a timeout pretty quickly here by the Suns.
McLeod slithers. Rejected by Robinson and cleaned up by Duncan.
David had 2 early. Just picked up the next.
Approaching 5 to play here in the fourth. Johnson trying to do a twirl on KJ. Shot clock at 7.
He could twirl. He's got to twirl with the ball.
That's a travel and a turnover for the San Antonio Spurs.
Avery Johnson trying to say he was pushed. He mishandled the first one. I've got to believe he just mishandled the second one.
Big possession with 5 to play, and Phoenix down by 13.
I think they're all big for Phoenix. None necessarily bigger than the other. They just have to try to find a way to get some baskets.
Hot Rod from KJ, rebound by Robinson.
Another block by David Robinson.
Johnson. Jackson into Kidd, into Williams, into the other side. Into Robinson. And a foul on McDyess.
I mean, the last 2 plays have been David Robinson, exactly what Greg Popovich wanted. Blocking the ball. That time, Tim Duncan knocks it back out to David Robinson. But Robinson doing what he wants defensively.
2 on McDyess. Robinson a horrid 1 of 5 from the free throw line tonight. During the season, 73% from the stripe. And the free throws, and it's a very interesting stat coming into tonight because Duncan and Robinson combined, going into Game 3 tonight, 44 attempts. The entire Phoenix team had 47 attempts, and there's the score tonight from the line.
Yeah, but in Game 1, I think that's when they had the big outburst. Between them, they had 30 free throws in Game 1. So that really makes a huge difference.
14-point lead for San Antonio and 4.5 to play. Kidd volleyballs it back to KJ. Slides down the lane. McDyess can't get it on the foul. Picked up by Jackson. Here comes San Antonio, and again slowing it up by the timeline.
Being smart. Phoenix missed a golden opportunity there. Johnson got to the basket and couldn't finish it.
Del Negro spins on McLeod. What a shot will it count to wipe it away.
Vinny with a little runner. A little runner.
And that been in. That may have been the final blow.
Vinny with a little twirl. Up. Let me run it in. I'm not sure why that's not a basket.
McDyess with 3. And here comes Vinny Del Negro, Sacramento's second-round pick in '88. Played with the Kings for 2 years. Went overseas and played in Italy for 2 years. A free agent signee 6 years ago by San Antonio.
And it's been a good pickup for them. Danny Ainge would like to have somebody, I'm sure, like Vinny on their team, because Vinny has been knocking it down. I mean, he shoots the ball like 43% this year from the three-point line, so he's been a very effective player for them and somebody you want to keep out on the team. But he's also had some injuries this year. Ankle's been injured, elbow, had respiratory infection, so he's had his problems too.
Del Negro with 14, 16-point San Antonio lead. Robinson by Duncan. Robinson, who was such a force in the third quarter on Saturday, has come up basically empty tonight. Number 4 to play. Del Negro and Johnson. Del Negro and McDyess. Robinson. Duncan. Jackson for the triple. Shot by Jackson. Timeout, Phoenix.
Superb ball movement. Just a free look. That time for Jaren Jackson.
The Spurs by 19, their biggest lead tonight.
It is 180 degrees from expected. It is a leather-trimmed interior. And now, it ties as J.D. Power and Associates' most appealing minivan. The new Chrysler Town & Country LXI. Winner of the Automobile Magazine All-Star Award. Now available with $1,000 cashback or a very special low lease rate. Chrysler, engineered to be great cars.
My motto, be prepared.
Northern Safari Army Navy of Eau Claire makes that happen. They have the quality gear you need to make the most of your outing. Find the best prices on quality goods. Northern Safari is the largest paintball and climbing supplier in the area. And right now, save 20% on all 1997 backpacks and tents. Prepare for your next adventure with Northern Safari Army Navy on South Hastings Way in Eau Claire. Best price for quality goods.
It's Bikes, Babes, and Beer at Tijuana Taxi on Thursday. Be at Tijuana Taxi on Thursday night to qualify to win the ultimate bike. A 1998 Harley-Davidson motorcycle. Plus, we're giving away genuine Harley-Davidson jackets. And Tijuana is featuring Harley glasses with your favorite Miller beer. Be at Tijuana Taxi Thursday for Bikes, Babes, and Beer. From Sport Motors Harley-Davidson, Miller Genuine Draft, I-94, and Tijuana Taxi in the East Ridge Center.
That may have been the knockout punch in what is a career playoff high 16 points from Jaren Jackson of the Spurs. Coming up after the game, Vince Cellini and Tom Gugliotta will recap tonight's first-round action and look ahead to tomorrow night's matchups. And some good ones tomorrow. An outstanding earlier game tonight between the Cavaliers and the Pacers. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, Cavs got that game. We got Googs. You think the Timberwolves could use Googs as they go against those Sonics tomorrow?
Well, you know, Flip Saunders has done as good a job in adapting in midstream as any coach in the NBA. You lose your most important player like Gugliotta, and he's had to readjust and basically reinvent the team. And because of that, they're giving Seattle fits in the playoffs, and Game 3 moves tomorrow night. And Gugliotta out, of course, for the season. But he will be one of the top players, along with Tim Duncan, representing the U.S. over in Greece in the World Championship games.
Yeah, that should be a good experience for both of those young men. As you take a look at the Spurs coming back out with a small lineup. Remember, they went early with Vinny Del Negro. They bring in Reggie Geary to get out to guard Kevin Johnson.
Well, the Suns have shot 30% from the floor in the second half, and there's a quick foul, and it's called on Jackson. 30% shooting for Phoenix in the second half.
Well, if they're not making jump shots, they can't do a whole lot, Kevin. And what's happened is David Robinson has done exactly what we talked about at the top of the show. He's got 4 blocks, but he's pretty much patrolled and controlled the inside.
Here comes Kidd with his first shot. Tomorrow the playoffs continue on Turner Sports. On TBS, Game 3, Miami at New York, 7 o'clock Eastern, followed by Seattle at Minnesota, 9:30 Eastern. On TNT, Game 3, Charlotte against Atlanta at 8 o'clock, followed by the Lakers in Portland. The NBA playoffs on Turner Sports. Full court pressure, and Jackson faces it. In double with McLeod and McDyess.
Geary, and that's why Reggie Geary's in the game, because Phoenix came into the trap. Gary made a nice up and under pass. That was an up pass that time, not up and under. He just threw that one up for David Robinson to go get.
No Rex Chapman tonight, 1 of 9. He left midway through the first quarter after seeing some early time and hitting his first shot. Then he missed 8 consecutive shots, and since that time he has been a no-go around the Suns bench.
Frank Johnson, one of the assistants with Danny Ainge right there, trying to figure out something to get his team some points, which is normally not a problem for the Suns. Outstanding guard in the league and outstanding young assistant. Along with Danny Ainge, he has Scott Skiles, left side of your screen. Played at Orlando, Washington, had many good years, and coached a Greece team in Greece last year.
Oh, McDyess came from no place and slams in the kid miss.
I'm telling you, he gets up quicker than anybody I've ever seen for that size.
Look at the rim, still shaking.
He's dicey. I mean, you're talking about hops. I mean, just power jumps. Jason Kidd gets right there, takes the shot, and the next thing you know, it's Dice. I mean, Tim Duncan tried to grab it with one hand. Dice has it in the basket.
Get out of the way. 26 points and 16 rebounds for McDyess, and here's Reggie Geary, who, along with George McLeod, were the 2 players that San Antonio was looking at during the offseason, but they didn't think McLeod could play the kind of defense Geary could play, so they signed Geary.
Yeah, Geary also gives him somebody to back up Avery Johnson. He's probably sitting down, and he's got that hip problem. But the interesting thing, Phoenix has started fouling early because they want to take a chance that San Antonio is not going to make foul shots. Remember, they're a 68% foul shooting team, so they started fouling, and Reggie Geary particularly early.
We're going to have to see some kind of a comeback with just under 3 to play in a 91-74 deficit for the Suns. What? That's a foul.
3-point line to get you back in the game quickly.
On Del Negro.
Now they're in the penalty, so any foul that Greg Popovich and the Spurs give up, you're in the line.
Well, they've only gone 1 of 8 from above the arc tonight, and here's the aforementioned George McLeod, who's replacing Danny Manning in the starting lineup. It's got to be tough for Ainge, as you take a look at the injured Avery Johnson. It's got to be tough for Danny Ainge to try to maneuver this team without 2 vital players. Danny Manning, who just went through revision reconstruction for a 3rd time, a reconstructed knee, and no Rex Chapman.
Well, it's difficult because you're talking about 2 of your top 6 players. Danny Manning, probably the most versatile player they have on the team with size and ability to make plays. Yeah, the official's going to change it. He's right. Reggie Geary hit it. Oh, they call him for holding. So, see, they're getting themselves back in the game here. I mean, slowly but surely. And then Rex Chapman is your leading scorer. So those are the guys that you don't have.
Kevin Johnson, we thought, would retire after last season, but Jerry Colangelo, the owner of the Phoenix Suns, talked him into coming back for a year at $8 million. A pretty easy decision, I would say. But the interesting thing about Kevin Johnson is he was looked at more as a gap in the rebuilding of the Suns. And what has happened is the team has blossomed so quickly. But now he's even fighting for minutes himself.
Yeah, well, but it's blossoming the way they like to have it blossom, because the guy, it should be Jason Kidd's team when it's all said and done. That's what's probably going to happen.
Kidd fouls, Geary reaching in.
And Jason has admitted, I mean, he's trying to very slowly get into getting this team. And Jerry Colangelo, the owner, of the Phoenix Suns taught Kevin Johnson to coming back in. Kevin Johnson has also provided some experience for the young Jason Kidd in terms of playoffs. And Kevin Johnson has had a great career. So you're right, it was a stopgap, but a pretty good one.
Well, they've got some decisions to make in the offseason. How much will they get KJ to come back for? Will he look around, or will he retire?
Well, they only have 3 guys under contract next year.
Steve Nash, Danny Manning, and Jason Kidd.
Right, so they will have a lot of ability to do some things for their team.
All right, Scott is in, and Clifford Robinson is left. And rebound by Dennis Scott. Here comes Kidd. It's going to be a shooting gallery now. McLeod from downtown.
They want to put the pressure on San Antonio.
That pulse has just gotten a little stronger.
Oh, he traveled. No doubt.
A foul called on Scott. It's an 11-point ball game after San Antonio led by 19. It seems like just seconds ago.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's no doubt. Watch him catch the ball and take a step before he put the ball down. There's no doubt in my mind. He traveled. The official got there, thought it was the push that caused the travel and made the call. San Antonio is but 7 of 16 from the line.
And they got Jackson up there. The coach, Greg Popovich. Jackson undrafted out of Georgetown in '89. Played in New Jersey for a handful of games. The CBA, the WBL. Played in Golden State, Los Angeles, the Portland Trailblazers. 8 teams in 8 years.
No, he's made the rounds.
Yes.
But he's toughed it out, persevered.
Scott, rejected by Duncan, claimed by McLeod, and he knocks in a 2-pointer, and it's an 11-point game once again. Phoenix trying to manufacture something here. They got Jackson hooking it off to Johnson, who's back in the game. And Del Negro hobbling at the other end. And a 20-second timeout taken by San Antonio.
Yeah, Vinny Del Negro went out and kind of stubbed on the side there. So they're taking a 20-second timeout. They can't really afford not to have him, but I think Greg Popovich may get him out of the game. They take the 22nd, did San Antonio, so they can get him out of the game and make a substitution.
Del Negro has had a knee problem, an ankle problem earlier in the year. In fact, he's been with all kinds of assorted injuries since the 3rd game of the season. He's had to battle that, and it looks like he can add something else now to the list.
Well, he sat down. It's an ankle, clearly, because what he did was sit down and tie his shoe tighter, which normally means that that's an ankle. I can play while the adrenaline is going.
Keep Del Negro in there with Duncan, Robinson, Johnson, and Jackson.
They got Vinny Del Negro in the corner. Now, he makes the pass. It comes down on the left foot of George McLeod.
1:45 to play, and San Antonio leads by 11 after being on top by 19. It looked like they're going to walk away. McLeod fouls Del Negro.
They like the Phoenix Suns because they scrap. I do. I like them because they stay. They
like the coach.
They play just like that. They stay in the game. They scrap. They fight.
You know, Ainge once spiked the ball at an opposing player in the head, and once had the brawl with Tree Rollins, had his finger bitten. He grabbed and flopped and whined his way through all those 14 years in the NBA. And his team is like that. They're scrappy.
Yeah, they are. They're scrappy. By the time Danny's through with them, they'll know the nuances of how to get a foul called.
In fact, the first day he took over for Cotton Fitzsimmons, he put on his warm-ups and he showed the players how to flop correctly. And he instituted last year a $50 bonus for offensive foul they got from an opposing player.
Oh, I'm sure everybody's interested to know about that. Because that one, so you get a $50 if you flop.
Kidd.
Oh, don't act like you don't hear me.
I'm calling the action. Del Negro comes out of the pack, triple teamed, and gets it off to Johnson. It was in the papers. You read it.
I did not, but I take your word for it.
Double is Del Negro.
Trying to use as much time as they can, and they've decided that they're not going to foul. Vinny's
a wide open lane for Del Negro. It opened wide, and he went right down the middle. Del Negro working on one wheel. And time accelerates and shifts gears and takes it down the boulevard. And the Spurs on top, 98-83.
The potential of a true sports car is something you experience. You feel, whether you use it all or only a little. And that's the thrill and the payoff.
44 years later, the soul lives on. The 99 Chrysler 300M, coming late May.
Want to make painting easier? Change your roller to a Wagner cordless power roller. There's less mess, less hassle, and less bending over because you control the flow of paint. So you can just keep on rolling. In fact, with the power roller and its accessories, you'll get professional results nearly twice as fast. It even turns cleanup into an easy job. So get a cordless power roller from Wagner and transform every room in your house.
I won't rest until every thirsty beer-drinking adult has a cold Coors Light in his hand. Rest. Rest is for the peanut vendors and the nacho guys. The folks who frost-brew Coors Light, they don't rest until it's perfectly refreshing. And it's my job to get it to you that way. Oh, there's no rest for the bear man, not until every fan here is refreshed.
Joey, you ready?
I think everyone here is pretty refreshed, right?
We are a company built on engineering mastery. 300 gives us an all-out engineering car. It has put real fire and spirit into the whole job we do.
44 years later, the soul lives on. The 99 Chrysler 300M, coming late May.
San Antonio by 15. And the sellout crowd of over 20,000. They only opened the lower deck. They did not open the upper deck. And they do that sometimes for the real big games. And as the Spurs, if they progress to the playoffs, they'll have over 30,000 in this place. But they do rule it a sellout tonight, over 20,000. San Antonio now on top by 15. And you said the pressure is on the Spurs. Quinn, they couldn't afford to go back to Phoenix for Game 5. It looks like they're going to have a chance to close things up on Wednesday.
But they'll play a team on Wednesday that's going to play a much more inspired game. I think Phoenix came out and played good. The problem is going to be they may have to play that game without Rex Chapman. I mean, and you can see Marco Milic is in the game. Danny Ainge has made a decision. He doesn't have much chance of getting this one, so he doesn't want to wear any of his starters out.
And Mike Brown is in the game. He played all this past year in Italy. Steve Nash with the fadeaway. So the final seconds ticking off, and San Antonio will claim Game 3 and go up in this best-of-5 first-round playoff series 2-1.
Yeah, they got good performance for a lot of people. One of them actually was David Robinson, and we talked about him at the top of the show. Offensively, he got them started. Carl Herrera's in the game, and at one point they thought Carl Herrera was going to be a big part of what they do with the Spurs, and it just never worked out that way.
Great game for McDyess tonight, but that picture says it all. That's the guy who's in agony.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think you find about people who have some successes, they have success in winning, they hate to lose more than they love to win. And I think that's got to be a part of your makeup. You see an exasperated Rex Chapman right there.
There will be another day, and there will be a Game 4 right here on Turner Sports. But they need Chapman, and they're facing elimination, so they may have to put him in there regardless of how he's feeling, and he's feeling pretty lousy.
Yeah, I think they may want to put him in there, but I don't think they will. If Danny is not convinced that he can not hurt himself more, I don't think he'll put him in there.
Malik Rose at the other end, 14 seconds to play. Nash to Milic. Rebound by Rose inside, climbing the ladder and claiming it inside.
Coach next year. Elijah Wan going right back to how he started this game.
Right back into the screen shake, but fall away, getting that jumper off. And of course, Gray Fox doesn't want to make any early fouls because he didn't get no action after that.
49-43 Rockets. Stockton, Keith, look at this stifling defense. Drexler running out quickly. Hornacek runner. Doesn't fall. Hornacek usually has money on that play. Turnover. The loose ball goes to Hornacek, though, with a 2 shot clock.
Good ball movement by the Utah Jazz, trying to make something happen offensively. Jerry Sloan calling out the play.
Stockton kicking to Foster. Not the man they want for three-point range. All the way across to Stockton, maybe John. Yes! That's a 2, though. Stockton stepped on the line. Stockton from Hornacek. It's a 4-point Rockets game.
So many elements to the Utah Jazz offense. Right there's a little bit of broken play. They had to play some just real smart basketball to get that open shot.
John had 6 points, 5 assists, and 4 turnovers in the first half. Olajuwon working inside again, kicking. They're going to go back to it. 5 on the shot clock, no time. Illegal defense to call against Utah. Hugh Hollins with a whistle.
Greg Foster that time playing some pretty solid defense on Hakeem Olajuwon. Made him kick it out. I'm looking at game 2 and how well he played in defensively against Hakeem Olajuwon. You know, in the old days, Hakeem Olajuwon gets Greg Foster down in the low post. He's going to definitely break him off a 30-piece. Could not do it in game 2, but showed in this game that he's coming back strong, going after him with a vengeance.
Bullard to inbound with 10:37 to go in the third quarter from the Summit in Houston. Rockets by 4. Olajuwon.
Not waiting for anything, putting it on the floor. Making Greg Foster make decisions on how he's going to play. He's going to play him physical. He's going to let me get to the middle. Well, I've got the fall away. That time, he got 2 of those jump balls.
Hakeem Olajuwon scored 16 points in game 1 and game 2, and he has 16 here tonight early in the third quarter, and that's going to be an illegal defensive call. They're calling it on Bullard being out of place. Ostertag back in for Foster. Ostertag played pretty well against Hakeem, but Hakeem is really feeling tonight. Hakeem in the first half only hit 4 of 11 shots, but he did have 6 rebounds and 3 assists.
But what he's causing, he's so aggressive offensively right now that he's causing the double teams. He's making Utah make adjustments defensively. Therefore, they're allowing the perimeter guys to get into the game, looking for shots all over the place.
Biggest lead in this ball game has been Houston by 9. They lead by 7 here. Hornacek, Adam Peace. 17-footer from the elbow. Olajuwon with the rebound. That's 7. Drexler with 12 first-half points. Into Willis. Jump hook. A little out of the range. Adam Peace the board to Stockton. Malone has been quiet, too. Plus, Carl had 3 turnovers in the first half.
They're not going to Malone nearly as much in this game as they did in the first opening game in game 2. Right there, because there's a lot of beef being thrown out there between him and Willis, banging him, not letting him get in position to score.
Rockets by 7. Rebound Stockton off the miss. Olajuwon. Deep inside is Malone. The foul before the block on Kevin Willis.
And I guarantee you that ball was going in after Malone shot it. Hakeem Olajuwon's second effort stopped the 3-point play right there.
9:19 to go in the period. Karl Malone in the first half was quiet. Karl had only 8 points and, as I said, 3 turnovers.
And that ball looked like it was going to the bucket.
Malone 2 out of 2 from the line tonight. You know, in the regular season, he averages 10 free throws per game. He had only 5 in game 1 when Houston upset and surprised Utah.
Well, I tell you what, he's not had the great shooting in this series, but he's still averaging 27 points for the 2 games. They need his offense. Last year's MVP going against Michael Jordan again this year. I don't know, Bob.
It's going to go to Michael hands down, just for no other reason. Most people believe that Michael and the Bulls are going to win it again.
There's no question. I think Michael Jordan has done a great job with the MVP votes this year. How can you not give it to him? I thought he was MVP last year.
Speaking of MVP, Clyde Drexler playing like one here tonight. Looking for Malone. Boy, Kevin Willis is smothering Malone. John Stockton got the shot off before Maloney got there. John has 10 points in this game tonight to go with 5 assists. And, as I've pointed out more times than he'd like me to, I'm sure, 4 turnovers. Drexler. Olajuwon. 56-49 Rockets. 18 for the Dream tonight. That's his playoff high this year. And we're 8:24 mark of the third quarter.
Oh, look at that mix by John Stockton.
Whistle before that, and Kevin Willis wants to hear the details. Stockton.
I tell you what.
I watched this.
Jerry Sloan talked about it at halftime, and John Stockton came up and showed you right in the middle of the screen, right here. Check him out. Oh, that is solid. John Stockton stuck every piece of his body into Kevin Willis's guts.
His body's in pieces, too. Brian Russell is checked in for Utah. We're at a 56-49, Rockets by 7. Second team foul against the Rockets. Jazz has committed none so far. Stockton kicking to Brian Russell. Olajuwon with his 8th rebound. Drexler's a nightmare for Hornacek.
Because he's so active, he just never stops moving.
Olajuwon, illegal defense before the Olajuwon shot. And it's technical. It's on Maloney this time, so they'll be shooting it. Excuse me, it's on Stockton, so Maloney will be shooting it. What I should say.
Hugh Hollins right now explaining to John Stockton what he did wrong. From the weak side of the floor, you cannot cross the middle plane of the floor. If you do, you have to keep going to the double team. The middle plane of the floor meaning the middle of the key where the red area is.
Bullard to inbound. 24-second clock. And that's the Rockets' biggest lead of the game. 59-49, Houston. Clyde has 16. Akeem has 18. Offensive foul. Sloan is on the floor. He gets the technical. Oh, they're getting hot in Houston. Malone picked up the personal. Look out, Jerry. Phil Johnson could be coaching again here. He just picked up the technical. You know, Utah realizes, I think, the players all realize that they've got a war on their hands here in the first round with Houston. Look at it again.
No question. Now see how Stockton went into Akeem with the shoulder lowered and gave him all shoulder. Referee saw that and allowed Akeem Olajuwon to retaliate. Now watch Stockton lower his shoulder into right there.
After it,
right there. You just saw that Akeem just let him have it, but Stockton came in and lowered his shoulder into Akeem Olajuwon, and Hugh Hollins definitely on top of that play.
Yeah, what you saw was the retaliation, but already the whistle had been blown. Olajuwon missing. Malone rebounded. An 11-point Rockets lead. Houston on a 6-0 run. Stockton fouled by Maloney. Two-shot foul.
But the one thing you have to appreciate about John Stockton and Karl Malone is that they've never stopped. They're relentless with their effort. John Stockton is trying to take this team and lead it by his example, defensively, offensively, set and pick. And that's really a tribute to a guy only about 5'11", 6 feet.
John Stockton with 10 points, 5 assists in this ball game. Make it 11. Questioned whether or not he would even be available to play. Strained his back early Monday in the first Utah practice of the week here in Houston. Missed the rest of that practice. Missed practice on Tuesday and didn't even... Let's first, before we go to Lisa Miloski, let's talk about John Stockton and about this third quarter. First of all, let's look and see where this all started with Stockton.
Watch Stockton go into him, and then, of course, Akeem Olajuwon just getting him off of him. Stockton had thrown his shoulder heavily into Akeem's chest, and a referee, Hugh Hollins, saw all of that, and great call by the big guy.
Houston outscoring Utah 13-7 in this third quarter. As you take a look, that third quarters have been critical. In Game 1, Utah really struggled. Houston won. Game 2, Houston struggled. Utah won here. Stockton has 2 field goals in this period. The rest of the Jazz have not scored. And on the night, Karl Malone only 3 of 8 field goals.
I think they're going to have to do something to get Karl Malone more involved in this ballgame offensively. He's allowing the game to come to him, but in Game 1, he did the same thing, and by the time he got heated up, it was a little too late. They ran out of time.
Hugh Hollins with the whistle before the play, another illegal defense. And speaking of that, as I neglected to say a moment ago on Karl Malone, he's 3 of 8, only 1 field goal attempt this quarter with the 6:49.
And you have to tell him, I talked to Jerry Sloan the other day, and he really has allowed the game to come to him. And Jerry said that's one of the best things about him this year. But under circumstances being down by 12 points, he's got to make a move. He's got to establish some offensive presence, and sometimes it's up to his teammates to get him the ball and get him involved.
If Houston were to win here tonight, they play again on Friday night. Even if Utah came back, this would come down to a one-game playoff series, even if Utah splits here back in Salt Lake City. John Stockton, what a move, couldn't get it to fall. Malone runs down the loose ball. Inside, Ostertag has it jarred loose. Wanted a call, didn't get it. They're letting them play here tonight. 62-51 Rockets, 6:30 to go, third quarter. The winner of the third quarter has been the story of this series so far. Bullard steps in for the 18-footer. Good bucket. 13-point Rockets lead. That's the biggest of the ball game. Malone inside. Oh, they're all over Malone. I mean, they're just suffocating Karl Malone here tonight. Maloney. Oh, the crowd would have exploded on that three. Brian Russell left in a crumpled heap at the other end of the court. He's up, coming back now. Just into your picture there at the top of the three-point circle. Malone comes down and gets that bucket to drop, and that stopped the drought. Rockets by 11.
Karl Malone not having good success turning into the defense because Olajuwon and Willis can match him strength-wise. Malone, as big as he is, got a lot of finesse to hit that turnaround.
Probably an ill-advised three from Drexler there. He was way outside the arc. Stockton driving on Maloney. The pull-up. Willis tipped it loose into the hands of Brian Russell. New shot clock, 5:19 in the quarter. Malone working on Willis. Willis is all over it. What a job Kevin Willis is doing tonight on Karl Malone. 5:05 to go in the period. Olajuwon versus Ostertag.
Double team.
Yeah, you got it. Bullard. Malone with the rebound. Karl has 10 boards in the game. Rockets by 11. Boy, as soon as Utah double teams, there's a perimeter three.
No question. That's just good recognition by Houston Rockets.
Malone against Willis again. This has developed into a battle. Maloney got him as he tried to dribble into the paint. Maloney reached in and will be called for his second personal foul.
Karl Malone, the last 3 times down, realizes he's got to get involved in this game offensively. Has been very aggressive, and right then Jerry Sloan called his number, and of course they went right to their big guy. They got to get him some touches.
As you see, Bullard sits down. Ellie is in, and also Howard Isley for John Stockton. Hornacek working right into the stomach, he runs, of Kevin Willis. That was a complicated sentence. Isley. Pick and roll. The floater from Howard Isley.
Tough shot.
9-point game now.
Got that on the side of his head.
4:12 to go in the third quarter. Inside to Akeem, using his strength, looking more alive here tonight. Akeem has 20. He had 16 each in the first 2 games, and tonight, much more alive. 8 points here in the third period. 11-point Rocket lead. Now Olajuwon on Karl Malone. Malone pulls up for the jumper. Drexler gets the board. Karl Malone is only 4 of 12 from the floor in this game.
But he's getting some strange shots, too. They're going pick and roll quite a bit. They're not getting the same type of looks, and that is a tribute to the defense that the Rockets are putting on the Jazz.
A near Houston turnover, 8 on the shot clock. Back inside to Olajuwon. The green shake. Oh, he is starting to look like the dream. Charles Barkley on the far side is dancing right at center court. He just jumped up on the table. Barkley looked like one of the cheerleaders. Not quite as good as the cheerleaders. Pick and roll. Isley. Crowd a factor.
No
Ostertag went down, and look out, Ostertag and Kevin Willis. Ostertag went down, and as Willis tried to run away, Ostertag grabbed him and kind of had a fist fight with Willis' right leg.
Simple case right there. Price probably should have held that ball up and gone inside with it a little bit further.
Floor burn from Brent Price trying to save the ball. And Akeem Olajuwon is in, as Willis will get a rest.
Kevin Willis has done a great job tonight battling Karl Malone down low. Barkley and Malone head up right now.
Olajuwon, 24-9 here so far tonight. It's his biggest numbers performance of the playoffs so far. He comes into the ball game immediately, grabs the rebound, and that will be his 10th. 4-point Rockets lead, 8:30 to go in the game. Go to the Dream. Drexler, the runner in the Malone with a rebound. Drexler had a chance for that long-range shot, elected not to take it. Isley working the paint. Rebound. Olajuwon is 11. Brent Price. Barkley setting the pick for him.
Oh, look at that. Open it up.
And the foul. Good call by Barkley. He saw the way the Utah defense was set, and Charles walked right over to Brent Price and said, I'll set it, you take it.
Matter of fact, he was showing him that he can get him, but Karl Malone right here, check him out, just flags at Brent Price, and doesn't even come close to stepping in, playing the solid defense.
Second foul on Malone. Brent Price gets this one to go down. He missed that technical just a moment ago, but Brent is a 79% free throw shooter. That technical a minute ago was his first free throw in this entire playoff series. He gets both of them this time at the line. Of course, his brother Mark, one of the great free throw shooters in the history of the NBA. 80-74 Rockets, 7:55 to go. Can the Rockets take a lead like Minnesota did on Seattle? Mercy. Malone drives. Barkley strips it. Goes to the floor. Fast break. Drexler. Fouled by Brian Russell. Good foul by Brian Russell.
That's good heads-up defense by Brian Russell. Really stopped a sure layup by Clyde Drexler.
Started by Charles Barkley stripping the ball.
Defense on one end, defense on the other end. And still, that physical thing going on.
I think Charles was scheduled to start his vacation today. Wasn't that his deal? He said, I want to get this over.
He did mention that earlier, that he's going to change his plans, though.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. Makes it fun for us, huh, Bob?
You got that. Charles Barkley. With Drexler, who's definitely retiring. We've already started a campaign to keep Drexler here a couple more years. Let him play, coach, play, coach. That's never been done before. And Barkley, who's questioning whether or not he'll return. He says he will. Drexler has 20, and John Stockton is back in for the final 7:43 for the Jazz, trailing by 8.
Bob, I would tell you that Clyde Drexler doing what you just said would be a heck of a recruiting plan.
Stockton, look at that pass. The open man, Shandon Anderson. Barkley gets the rebound, and Charles has 5. Oh, the crowd's starting to feel it here. Houston could build a 10-point lead or better. Olajuwon against Ostertag. Finds Ellie for the drive. Olajuwon baseline. Drexler kept it alive. Grabbed by Brian Russell. Bodies fly on every exchange. That time, it was Drexler went down. Stockton pulls up. Misses the 3. Brian Russell. Big offensive board. Brian Russell, what a play there. And that's what Utah needed to stop the bleeding for the moment.
That was a huge offensive rebound off the John Stockton three-pointer. Just athleticism all over the place.
This whole game has been close all night. The biggest lead of Isley, Shandon Anderson, and himself, Brian Russell, and been effective all year long. 82-76 Rockets, 6:44 to go. Olajuwon missing. Barkley comes in to get the rebound. First, we've got a loose ball foul, and it's going to be against Utah.
Barkley working the boards on the offensive end, really used a great veteran move to get in front of the defensive rebounder and snag it, and then on top of that, make him foul.
Malone's third. 6:39 to go. Rockets by 6. Every possession now.
And they're playing Olajuwon single coverage with Ostertag coming late with the double team.
And they're going right back to him. Double team got there late again. Good defense by Ostertag.
Great reset by Olajuwon. They changed up the defense a little bit. They're coming after he puts it on the floor now.
Brian Russell was 17. Looking for Malone. Over Barkley. Charles with a foul. That's his first. Karl Malone tonight has 17 points, 11 rebounds in this game. He is 5 of 13 from the floor and flawless from the free throw line at 7 for 7. There's numbers for Karl. Relatively quiet night. Karl had 29 in game number 2.
Well, he's got pretty good numbers tonight, but it's not being the dominating power forward that we know that he can be. part of that reason is because I don't think that they've gone to Karl Malone enough for him to get the superior numbers we know he can get.
And when they have, Kevin Willis has thrown a blanket on it most of the night, and Barkley's played it tough, but Willis has really been the defensive key for Malone most of this game.
Very good point, and the key to that is that Karl Malone has not got into the running game. You see, he's not getting any easy ones. That's why he's struggling from the offensive end.
And Maloney comes away with a rebound. Rockets hold on to a 6-point lead. Crowd on their feet. They smell blood. 6 points, not a very big lead, though. Drexler working on Brian Russell. Passes as he falls. Barkley. Drexler runs down the rebound. He's got 6. Olajuwon just scattered John Stockton. Drexler couldn't find the handle, pulls up to the bucket. Ostertag rebound. Now Houston having trouble scoring. They lead by 6.
That was a bad shot by Drexler. 13 seconds on the shot clock. He has plenty of time.
There's the shooting. 2 for 8, 2 for 9. These teams aren't tight, are they? And the defense, and we pointed it out in both of the first games. We're talking about the black and blue play and about the physical play, the Eastern Conference-like play. But the defense has been sound for both of these teams, no question. Hornacek missing. Maloney battling Stockton. They're going to call Maloney for the loose ball foul, pushing John away so he can have a chance at that rebound.
And Bob, what you have to appreciate about the defensive effort and the physicality of this game is that there's not a lot of cheap shots going on. A lot of hard NBA fouls, a lot of clean, solid NBA elbows being thrown out there.
That's a good one. NBA elbow. Hornacek defended by Drexler. 5:19 to go in the game. Rockets by 6. Nobody's had a good look at the basket from either team. Stockton. Ostertag. Shot clock to 10. Hornacek around Ostertag. Brian Russell, that's the best look they could get. Barkley steals the rebound from the 7'2" Greg Ostertag.
And anytime you get a team playing defense for 22 seconds out of 24, that's big.
Now Utah's turn to defend. This 82-76 score has lasted for about 2 minutes. Everything challenged. Barkley against Malone. Passes out of it. Ellie tries to shoot that jumper over Olajuwon, and we've got a Houston foul. Both teams are scoreless now for the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Let's check the team fouls. Both have now committed 14 fouls, so the next foul by either will put the other at the free throw line with 4:39 to go.
Bob, I'm enjoying this so much. It reminds me so much of the old days. Nobody goes into the paint without getting clocked at least once.
15 seconds on the shot clock. Utah looking for a shot. Something open. 10 on the shot clock. Here is Stockton willing it to happen. Malone. No. Rebound. Drexler. Now Utah, all 5 players back that quickly. Charles now entering the offensive end. Olajuwon's quick turnaround. No! Rebound Utah.
Well, they got the shot they wanted. Drexler smartly held it up and went into the middle.
Brian Russell on the break. Now Malone defended by Barkley. They've isolated it. Barkley got up there, but Malone shot it anyway. Carl wanted a 3-point opportunity. It looked like, frankly, that Charles Barkley may have gotten a piece of his arm.
There's no question Karl Malone got fouled on that play. Hugh Hollins looking at him and shaking his head. At the same time, Barkley pulling at his feet and following. Karl Malone, oh, that's a strong elbow.
19 points tonight, 12 rebounds for Carl. 82-78, Rockets by 4. Drexler in the paint, stolen by Hornacek. A chance for the Jazz to pull to within 2. 3:22 to go in the ballgame. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Remember, the Jazz eliminated Houston in the Western Conference Finals here at the Summit last year on a shot very similar to that John Stockton bucket. And the Rockets now lead it by 2 with 3:08 to go. That had to bring back nightmares for the Houston Rockets crowd.
Very typical pick and roll offense by Karl Malone and John Stockton. Picture perfect. You didn't get a chance to play it. Watch Stockton coming off. Akeem can't play him high because he'll go right to Malone, and John Stockton capable of making you pay. Right here, look, right here, Akeem steps up, but he can't stop him because he's got Karl Malone isolated in the corner. Strong defense. Now this is the time you've gone into the post 4 or 5 times, you got nothing. Maybe now you need to change it up a little bit. But what they did is they changed. They changed the post-up guy that time.
Olajuwon should have that basket. 82-80. A chance for Utah to tie. Akeem is 0 for 5 from the floor in this quarter. Stockton penetrating the kitchen. Here comes Brian Russell. He's fouled by Akeem Olajuwon.
And what's interesting about that play, now, Utah goes to the pick and roll again. They run the same exact play, and then this time Stockton uses his options and goes to Brian Russell deep in the corner. Gets a three-point opportunity game. Houston Rockets with possibly an opportunity to come back down and stay ahead of this game or go back up. There's one thing that they have to do. Take it into the middle, but they got to start looking to their options off of the post-up play. Several times down court in the last 5 minutes, they're going into the post, and that's where the shots coming from. The shots may have to come from someplace else right now.
Into the post to Barkley, the first tie of this ball game. Barkley single defended by Malone. Malone blocked it and got the ball away from him. Big play by Carl. And a chance for the Jazz to take the lead on this possession for the first time in the ball game. Rockets have led by as many as 13. The series is tied at 1 apiece. This is the critical third game. There is John Stockton. Not this time. Rebound, Clyde Drexler. Hold on to your hats. 2 minutes to go, tied at 82. It's going to be a 2-minute ball game.
Well, you got to go back into Olajuwon, and they're going single coverage, so you got to take advantage of it.
He got that one. He missed a couple point-blank shots earlier, but this time he got it to go down, and Olajuwon has 26, although he missed his last 5 shots before hitting that one.
But anytime they go into Olajuwon and he's got single coverage with Ostertag, he's got to take that offensive opportunity.
They went into Malone, then the pick and roll. Illegal defense. That is the 11th call of the night. 6 of the illegal defenses have been called against the Houston Rockets.
The players look very puzzled about this particular illegal defense, and a lot of times what's happening is that they're just one step below the zone area, and the referees tonight are nailing them for it. A lot of times, you know, they don't always call that every time, but I tell you what, when you get the ball down in the low post like Akeem Olajuwon, you got single coverage with Ostertag, you got to go for it.
A Jazz basket here would give them the lead. It's 84-83 with 1:31 remaining in the game. Neither team with a foul to give. Stockton in the paint, kicking Hornacek. Hornacek from 19. Rebound. Akeem Olajuwon, he has 13. Rockets by a point. Minute 16 to go. I started to say this is a big possession, but they've all been big tonight. Back to the dream. Ostertag. Tipped it out. Ostertag tipped it to Stockton, who's on the run. Penetrating and finding Ostertag. They'll reset it and put it back in the hands of number 12. Shot clock to 15. Game clock to 53. Counting down. 1 point. Rockets lead. Stockton with the pick from Malone. The pull-up jumper from 14. No. Stockton with a rebound. Blocked shot, but a burst of foul was called. It's going to be a 2-shot foul.
Great effort by John Stockton. Getting in there. The littlest man on the floor. Get inside the Timberwolves in there. I tell you what, making things happen down there, Bob.
Now Stockton can put the Jazz in front at the free throw line. John is only 1 of 2 tonight from the line. Has 13 and 5 otherwise. Gets this when this game is tied at 84. 44.3 seconds remaining in the game. In the critical, we say this over and over again, in the critical third game.
Bob, in game 2, it was a situation where they played Olajuwon single coverage and he couldn't deliver. Last time down court, single coverage, could not deliver.
The dream would be a key to this game tonight, and he is good call. And now the Rockets by a point, 86-85, 37.6 seconds remaining in this game. Fans on their feet at the Summit.
And you know they're going to go pick and roll with Stockton Malone. Malone clears him out, gives him plenty of space, and nice defensive adjustment by the Rockets.
Brian Russell alone. He misses. Drexler with a rebound. 20 seconds to go in the ball game. They're just letting the clock run. Now they whistled it shut. The crowd is so noisy I couldn't hear the whistle. It was a quick foul in the backcourt. And with 17.9 left, the Rockets at the free throw line leading 86-85. And that says it all in the face of Adam Keefe and Jerry Sloan And Drexler will go to the free throw line. He's 2 for 2 there tonight. Clyde has scored 20 points.
And sometimes, Bob, it's the point that you play defense. Right there, we saw some replays of the Jazz doing a great job defensively. You knew that Stockton was going to go pick and roll. Barkley, smart defensive move, double-teamed them, made them scramble and shoot a long fadeaway in the corner by Brian Russell. Great off-defensive play.
Now, this free throw gives the Rockets a 3-point lead. Utah, what do you think they'll do with the 17.9?
Well, Utah Jazz 5 for 12 from the three-point line. If they get one quick, they'll probably take it. But knowing this team, they're going to go for the quick two.
Anybody's going to get an open look. Malone's going to take the three. Barkley with a rebound, controlled by Maloney. To Olajuwon, 7 seconds and a quick foul in the backcourt. 7 seconds remaining and the Rockets are on the verge of upsetting Utah. In 2 of the first 3 games of this first round, the Jazz, with the best record and home court advantage throughout the entire NBA playoffs, saw that bubble burst in game number 1 when Houston came in and stole one in Salt Lake City. Everybody on their feet here at the Summit. Remember in '95 when Houston won it. They had to win on the road. They would get behind in the playoff series. Also the year before that and the year before that, going all the way back to '91. And this crowd knows that the newspapers here go from choke city to clutch city. And that was a big miss by Maloney. 88-85, 7.6 seconds. This is a critical free throw. It's a 3-point ball.
You have to remember that en route to their first championship, they had to go through 4 50-win teams to get there.
Maloney hits a big one. 4-point lead. Timeout, Utah. 7.6 seconds remaining. The Rockets lead it by 4. They're celebrating already in Houston. Game number 4 would be on Friday night right here on TNT. Four assists. That foul's on Drexler, offensive. That's his first. A little summary of the game. The Rockets have led by 9 3 times here tonight. Jazz cut it to 2 several times, but never have been able to tie the game. Right now, 43-39. Stockton looking for a way. Shandon Anderson. Look at that. Shandon Anderson slashing to the hoop, which is a big part of his game along with the post-up play. 2-point Rocket lead. Once again, Utah has crawled to within 2. Houston's had an answer every time previously, and they have one this time. Drexler, Olajuwon, Phi, Slamma, Jamma lives. I guess he'll invite a team over to help coach his Houston Cougars team every now and then. Stolen by Drexler. Has Ellie. Drexler all the way. Finger roll doesn't go, but Ellie follows. Back to Drexler. How about that? How about that?
That's just hustle all the way around. Mario Ellie still made that play work out by running the floor. Gave Clyde an option to go to, and he kept it himself. And then Mario Ellie staying with the play helped him out on the rebound.
I'm going to start a write-in campaign. Don't go Clyde. Let Houston Cougars wait for him a couple of more years. Just like his brother James said when Lisa talked to him earlier. I wanted him to keep playing. Well, he's still playing very, very good basketball. 47-41, 40 seconds in the period. Pick and roll with Willis. Drexler. Not this time. Clyde has 12 points, though. Stockton's pull-up 3. Oh, we've seen that go down many times. He was just feeling it. Ellie with the rebound. 6-point Rockets lead, 22 seconds in the half. Houston has led all the way. Ken on the shot clock. Up and under. Olajuwon blocked by Ostertag. Isley at 3-on-2. Stockton. That's goaltending. Count the basket. Kevin Willis got it after it hit the glass.
Great defense by Ostertag. Getting faked and staying with it and then getting the block. Utah Jazz making and capitalizing on that play.
Coming up on the Nike Halftime Report, Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Derek Harper looking good, too. All three of them looking good. That hit the shot clock. They'll have highlights for tonight's playoff action. Chicago Nets, Chicago eliminated.
Brown said, I've got a book on Carlos Perez, and he pretty much pitches me the same way every time. His fourth triple of the year, cleared the bases. Cardinals up 4-love. Carlos Perez, 0-6 in his last 10 starts. Don't throw the cooler. Don't do that. He said afterwards, same old thing. I was under pressure all the time. Cardinals win at 7-zip. Donovan Osborne wins for the first time since last August 31st. The Expos, who lost 15-0 to Houston Sunday, haven't scored in 21 innings. The game matched the National League's highest and lowest scoring teams for the fourth time in 9 days. Montreal gets another shot Tuesday. Cliff Polite looks to go 3-1 when he faces the Expos' Dustin Hermanson. Still to come, we will break down how the Spurs broke down the Suns. And Shane Corson for the Canadians rocking Pittsburgh to death. That and more coming. SportsCenter, coming back.
I won't rest until every thirsty beer-drinking adult has a cold Coors Light in his hands. Rest. Rest is for the peanut vendors and the nacho guys. The folks who frost brew Coors Light, they don't rest until it's perfectly refreshing. And it's my job to get it to you that way. Oh, there's no rest for the bear man, not until every fan here is refreshed.
Joey, you ready?
I think everyone here is pretty refreshed, right?
Why is America on America Online?
The internet, email, instant messages.
No more computer mumbo jumbo. AOL now offers more benefits, and we've spent over $500 million to triple capacity.
If I can do it, anyone can.
So easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
I have visions of future baseball. I've seen a picture with as much power, with more power than Walter Johnson. I've seen this. I have seen visions of a time when the home run slugger and the scientist will be reconciled.
Back to Ice Capades, Penguins and Habs. Pens unbeaten in the Molson Center this year. Game 3 beforehand. Whoa, ho, ho.
Everybody,
Where's Carl Douglas when you need him? Jaromir Jagr going through that workout first period. No score, Jagr. That's how karate stuff works. His first goal of the playoffs is 1-0 Penguins. Later in the first period, Patrice Brisebois head and shoulders first into the boards trying to check Robert Lang. Brisebois helped off the ice, didn't return in the first, but did play the rest of the game because he's a hockey player. Montreal, meanwhile, keeping Jagr in check after his goal. Dave Manson all over him, riding him, and then getting him right there again. Hit the high notes now. 1-1 after the first. Second period, Montreal's on the power play. Shane Corson. Couple of chances in tight. Vincent Damphousse has tried again, Shane. He does, and he scores his first goal of the playoffs. Canadiens up 2-1. Third period, same score. Mark Recchi centers across to Corson. Puts it in the back of the net. Montreal has struggled at home this season during the regular season, but they win this one, and they're up in the series 2-1 by virtue of the 3-1 win. It's only the Habs' second ever playoff win at the Molson Center, and it comes after a regular season in which they had their worst winning percentage at home since 1940.
Here's the beauty of sports. In the big scheme of things, it doesn't matter that the Blues lead the Kings 3-zip. It doesn't matter that the Lightning had the worst record in the NHL this year. Word out of Tampa Bay is John Cullen is cancer-free. 13 months ago, Cullen was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma after months of chemotherapy, then a bone marrow transplant, and then even more radical chemo. Doctors say the cancer is gone, so the guy with 550 career points will be at camp next year.
Best news we've had in a while. Last time CART had an event rained out without a wheel turning on the track, Reagan was in the White House, Nina Blackwood was on MTV, and Spicoli was at Ridgemont High in theaters. 1982. Fast Times at Nazareth Speedway had to wait a day after rain on Sunday. Michael Andretti hoped the good thing that would come from his wait, a record-tying third win on his home track. Emerson Fittipaldi won 3 times at Nazareth, and we're on board with Andretti, who passed the outside pole man Greg Moore and got the early lead. With some problems in the pits, Scott Pruitt. Whoa, he's on fire. Throw some water on that, put that thing out. And check out the fuel guy from Martin Blundell's team. Oh, if you've been injured in an accident, get a lawyer. He would be okay, he would stay in the race because he's a fuel guy. In the car with Andretti again on a restart, and he wrecked. Spun out on the cold track. He led all 102 green flag laps he raced, but he was done for the day there. Back to the race, Jimmy Fasser passing Max Pappas on the inside. Back in 4th place, Mauricio Gugelmin, Racing Deal. Tire clonked him on the back of the head, and Gugelmin had to be helped out of his race car and taken away on a stretcher. At the finish, Jimmy Vasser, the 1996 PPG Cup champion, just ahead of his teammate Alex Zanardi, and Vasser wins it his 6th career CART win. The Target Ganassi drivers, who have won the last 2 championships, get the team's first ever win on an oval of less than 1.5 miles. Vasser gets the win. Zanardi takes over the points lead by 1 over Greg Moore. Still to come on SportsCenter. We'll take a look at the Spurs and the Suns and how the Spurs broke the Phoenix Suns down. It might not be the way you think. And Ricky has no splaining to do for this swing, but what excuse would explain the end of the Astros-Mets matinee?
Completely restyled the Katana 600 and 750, from their dual halogen headlights to their 4-into-1 stainless steel exhausts.
Same time tomorrow?
Yeah. So now they're just as impressive on the outside as they've always been on the inside.
I'm Ironhead Hayward, and I challenge you to try Zest Deodorant Body Wash.
But Ironhead, what's with this thingy?
That lather builder works with Zest Body Wash to give you twice the fresh-smelling lather of this bar, and it rinses cleaner.
But Ironhead...
Oh, quit crying and try it for a week. If Zest Body Wash doesn't give you cleaner, more refreshed skin than these, call 1-888-BEST-LATHER, and they'll buy you a bar of yours.
Zest Body Wash. Get cleaner, more refreshed.
Get Zestfully clean.
What's my prize? Simple. To create a sports magazine readers love. What's the word on Phil Jackson? Why is Jerry Krause breaking his horns? Dennis, Scotty, Michael, are they completely unstoppable or just totally unbeatable? And hockey, lots of hockey. Print it, baby.
To the house, Lee Mazzilli-Bill. Astros and the Mets, top of the second. Scoreless, Rick Reed was in control. Carl Everett, a re-frame. Top of the 4th, still scoreless. Jeff Bagwell, swinging and sitting down. Met closer John Franco worked just once in the last 7 days, thinking he'd have another day off on Monday. Bottom of the 4th, Bernard Gilkey's replacement, Jim Tatum. His first non-pinch hit career homer, 3rd of his career overall, 2-0 Mets. Top 7, Reed still cruising. Moises Alou. Reed went 8, gave up 4 hits, struck out 6. Top 9, Mets up 3-1. John Franco perfect in 5 save opportunities on the year, but he walked the first guy, Derek Bell. After a Bagwell single, Franco walked Bill Spires to load the bases. Couple of sac flies tied it at 3, and then Tony Eusebio, who came in as a defensive replacement, provides some offense, doubling to right. Spires scores. Richard Hidalgo going to try it. Smoked meat, not getting it done. He's out. Astros still up 4-3. Meanwhile, Billy Wagner comes in. Edgardo Alfonso, sit on it, Fonzie. Wagner's 6th save of the season, and Franco blowing his first save of the year as the Astros come back to win it 4-3. Larry Durker says rallying for 3 runs in the 9th only happens 2 or 3 times a year, and that's a very special win. His club has won 8 of 10. Mets and Astros now move to Houston for a 3-game set. This was a makeup of a rainout. Al Leiter looking for his 4th win for New York. Phillies just 2-8 on the road at Riverfront, taking on the Reds. Eddie Taubensee, bottom 9. Guest slider, got it. It was tied up at 1, and he took Darren Winston right out of the yard. Second job of the year for Taubensee as the Reds go on to win it by a count of 3-1. Taubensee getting it done in the clutch. He's batting .500, 11 for 22 with runners in scoring position. That was Cincinnati's first homer off a lefty this year. Garrett Stevenson looking for his first win in 5 starts in Cincinnati on Tuesday.
Still ahead, more baseball. David Justice went deep, but there's no I in team, and the team isn't winning. Back out to San Antonio, where the Spurs are hoping the brand new Rookie of the Year could come correct. We're back.
How you doing?
I'm still saving money.
How about a call from L.A. to Mexico City? It's $23.80 with AT&T.
It's only $8.80 with 10321.
Impressive.
Just dial 10321, then the number as usual.
I'm speechless.
We're looking at a new species.
You don't even know what the hell it is.
He's too fast.
The target's heading right at us. Where'd he go?
Godzilla, rated PG-13. Opens everywhere Wednesday, May 20th.
Who's looking after your money? You do have goals to reach. Are mutual funds getting you there? How do they see things? At Janus, they look for opportunities one at a time. Not categories, not trends. Just great companies to invest in, no matter what the market's doing. You can find them if you look hard enough. And Janus does. Get there. Janus No-Load Mutual Funds.
Corporation. It's how we build great cars and great trucks.
A Tribe Called Cleveland in a quest off the Dan Ryan Expressway against the Chi Sox. Back in 1991, Chad Ogea and Mike Soroka were teammates in the NCAA champion LSU Tigers. Monday, they faced each other. Bottom 4, Mike Caruso, lines 1 to right. Will Cordero and Charlie O'Brien come around to score on Caruso's second triple of the year. He was 2 for 4 hitting, 3-2 White Sox. Top 5, 4-2 Chi Sox. David Justice off the hook. 6th home run of the year. 4th jack in his last 7 games. 4-3 White Sox. Justice drove in all 3 Indian runs. Chad Ogea would leave in the 5th, down 5-3. Meanwhile, Soroka was the truth. Kenny Lofton chasing a bender. Soroka 7 innings, 5 Ks for his 4th straight win. White Sox rolled 10-3. Robin Ventura had a 4-hit game, his 3rd of the season. This one sends the Tribe to their 8th loss in their last 11 games. Tuesday, these two hook up again. Charles Nagy goes for his 3rd win against winless Jason Beret. The Devil Rays blew leads of 5-0 and 6-5 and fall to the Oakland A's 7-6. It's Tampa Bay's 6th loss in 7 games, and they blow Fred McGriff's 30th career multi-homer game. The Devil Rays a game below 500 for the first time since opening day. On Tuesday, Rick Tailgater looks for his first win of the season. As these two go at it again, Johnson goes for Tampa Bay. The Mariners and Royals rained out in Kansas City. No makeup date was announced. Randy Johnson faces Tim Belcher on Tuesday. Royals manager Tony Muser ran position players through a 20-minute workout in the rain after the game was postponed. It's probably unusual, Muser admitted. It gives me good feedback, though, on who wanted to go home and who wanted to stay. Hall of Fame pitcher Juan Marichal was in serious but stable condition in a Santo Domingo hospital late Monday after sustaining serious head injuries in a car accident. The 60-year-old Marichal, the Dominican Republic sports minister, was a passenger in a sports utility vehicle that ran off the highway.
Tim Duncan had 22 points, 14 rebounds. David Robinson, 17 and 12. Just what you'd expect from the Spurs' big men against the Suns. But in the playoffs, it's often who delivers the unexpected that determines who wins a game, especially in an evenly matched series. The unanticipated appearance and disappearance of the Spurs and Suns' respective perimeter games, the subject of our breakdown. Given, the bigger team will out-rebound the smaller team, which is what the Spurs did. San Antonio held a 102-86 rebounding edge through 2 games. Given, the team with more healthy perimeter players will outshoot the bigger team from the outside. That's what the Suns did to the Spurs, but just barely. Phoenix hit just 1 more three-pointer through 2 games than the Spurs did. While Phoenix entered Game 3 hoping George McLeod could repeat his 6-for-7 performance from beyond the arc in Game 2, San Antonio was just hoping for an outside shooting performance, period. While the inside tandem of Duncan and Robinson did what they've been doing all season, own the paint and complement one another's missed shots with offensive boards and putbacks, the men on the perimeter provided long-range support. The rifleman Chuck Person came off the bench to nail consecutive threes, and Jaren Jackson also added 1 in the half. A Phoenix bomb from McLeod at the end of the half was misleading. While the Suns tied the game at the break, it would be one of only 2 triples they would score all night. Clearly a reversal of fortune.
I think it was important for us tonight to really be aggressive, looking for our shots and getting some things going. It really seemed to help. I mean, I think early on we had great aggressiveness going to the rim and a lot of aggressiveness shooting the ball.
As one perennial gunner, Rex Chapman nursed a tender left hamstring that limited him to 1 of 9 shooting in Game 3. Another person overcame his season-long aches and pains to produce 3 triples and 9 points off the bench. But it was the marksmanship of Jaren Jackson that would finally bury the Suns in Game 3. Jackson's 18 points on 6 of 8 shooting included 4 of 5 marksmanship from behind the arc. Not bad for a guy who was a surprise starter in the San Antonio lineup. When this J fell, the Spurs took a 19-point lead with 3.5 to play. Complementing Jackson and Person's long-range attack, Benny Del Negro, whose 18 points surpassed his combined output from Games 1 and 2.
Jaren and Vinny were fantastic. You know, even when they missed a couple early, they were looking for their shots, and they made those guys stay back on their heels a little bit.
With an ailing Rex Chapman and coming off a 41% shooting performance in Game 3, Phoenix will have to regain its perimeter touch quickly, or else the last dance for this 56-win team will come in the first round.
Reese, can I thank you?
You're welcome.
Thanks, Reese. Still ahead, a tough guy turned playmaker, Matthew Barnaby, giving out love like he's capable of giving out knuckle sandwiches.
Live from Tijuana Taxi, where every night is party night. Don't miss Eau Claire's happiest happy hour from 4 till 7 p.m. nightly for $1.25 tap beer and $1.75 well drinks and bottled beer. Monday is birthday night, and if it's your birthday month, the goodies are for you. Tuesday is country night at Tijuana Taxi with free line dance lessons and the hottest country all night long. And on Wednesdays, enjoy free tacos from 5 till 7. Every night is party night at Tijuana Taxi Company in the East Ridge Center.
Take a degree in natural resources and 22 years of combined Chippewa Valley lawn care experience, and your grass will turn green with envy. Greener Images is thinking spring with their affordable prices.
Randy and I will take 50% off your first application of a fertilizer weed control program when you switch to Greener Images, and we guarantee to apply it by May 15th.
Greener Images fits your schedule, not theirs. Plus, you get free service calls and estimates. Call Greener Images today and keep the green on your lawn and in your wallet.
The legendary band like the Bay City Rollers out to rock and roll. The seniors out to golf. They've endured decades on the road. They've transcended generations of hairstyles. And they can still get out in front of a frenzied crowd and tear the roof off this mother!
Any which way you want it, the Sabres delivered it against the Flyers Monday night. Shorthanded, done. Twice. Power play, done. Even strength, done. As Flyer coach Roger Nelson admitted, when you give up 2 shorthanded goals, you know it's not your night. Raj, it's also not your night when the guy who led the Sabres in penalty minutes during the season and 6th highest penalty minutes in the league, Matthew Barnaby, comes up with a huge assist. Barnaby hung out with our Bill Clement afterward.
Well, the Buffalo Sabres made it look easy tonight, and one of the guys that helped make it look easy with the big assist was Matthew Barnaby. But I got to ask you, what is the checklist that you guys go over before the game against the Flyers? What does Lindy Ruff talk about?
Well, I think, first of all, we want to contain that big line, and we all know how good they are and how big they are and how physical they're going to be every night. So we just run over like little checklists, like you said, contain them, and you know, you're not going to contain them every night, but as long as you contain them a couple nights, you're going to be okay. But that and just match them physically. If we can match them physically, we're going to do all right, and so far we've done that.
Well, that also is pretty surprising because they're a much bigger team than you guys are, but that doesn't seem to faze you guys a bit.
We got a lot of guys with a lot of spunk and a lot of character. They work hard every night. They're great guys, and they want to win, and so far they're proving it. So if we can match them, it's not always the biggest guys that win. It's the guys that want it the most, and fortunately both teams have wanted it pretty bad, but we're up one game, we'll take that.
Another beautiful assist for you tonight, and you've picked up 3 assists now in 3 games, so you've proven to the world that you're a playmaker, but you're pretty well recognized as a tough guy around the league. Is it important for you that the rest of the world knows that you're a player too?
I don't know. I might have been a little lucky lately, but you know, it's nice. You don't want to be known as a tough guy. I want to play in this league a lot of years, and hopefully I can add some points like I did in the minor leagues and in junior. That's something I pride myself on, and the coaching staff have given me a lot of chances on the power play, so hopefully it'll keep up.
Your wife, Christine, is due on Saturday. Is she going to be able to wait long enough for you to be there?
She better. The coaches and GM told me she better wait it off, and we'll hold it off. But it looks like by Saturday, if she hasn't, we'll be able to plan the day, so we won't miss any games.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Matthew Barnaby's going to have a baby. The Sabres go up 2-1. What could be better here in Buffalo?
Thanks, Bill. Congratulations, Matthew. Bruins try to regroup and even the series at home. Game 4, Capitals-Bruins, Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN.
Bill Elliott took a nasty ride Sunday at Talladega, but the drivers weren't the only ones feeling the bumps from weekend wrecks. John Kernan has turned on his turn signal, and he's merging into the fast lane.
This is the latest video game we're developing, and this is our inspiration, my Volkswagen Jetta. Excellent. When you write code for 15 hours straight, you gotta get out. The Jetta's a real German road car with plenty of room for 4 carbon-based life forms. It's got dual airbags, daytime running lights, and side impact door beams. Because in real life, there is no reset button. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
You ever been convicted of a felony or a misdemeanor? Have you ever knowingly returned a videotape without rewinding it first? Have you ever purchased support hose? Have you ever worn support hose for purposes other than support?
If you have to ask if you have the right internet service for your company, you don't. If you have to ask if you have high-speed access, you don't. If you have to ask if you've outgrown your existing connection, you have. Now call us. PSINet with a single focus, the internet. And if you're wondering whether your business depends on the call, it does. PSINet, the internet starts here.
You know all those stories you hear about how good it was and how much fun we had and how young we all used to be, about how much it all mattered and how much we all cared and how no one has ever done it higher or faster or harder or better. All those stories you hear, they're all true.
Favorite Trick, the horse of the year and among the top contenders for the Kentucky Derby, stumbled during a workout Monday at Churchill Downs, but apparently the horse is in good shape. Trainer Bill Mott said Favorite Trick must have hit a divot in the track. Trick won his first 9 races before a third-place finish at the Arkansas Derby.
Bobby Labonte's name can now be mentioned alongside the King, Richard Petty. They are the only 2 men ever to pilot Pontiacs to victory lane at Talladega. Labonte's win in Sunday's Die Hard 500 was also the first ever restrictor plate race win for Pontiac. But John Kernan tells us in the fast lane the winner wasn't the only one causing much rejoicing.
Busch Series driver Randy LaJoie continued to impress the Winston Cup circuit with the top 10 finish Sunday in the Die Hard 500 at Talladega. In the 5 races LaJoie has driven Ricky Craven's car, he's posted 1 top 5 and 3 top 10 finishes.
I tell you, he's done a very good job. He's brought us from 24th in points to 17th in points now. We're like, I think 111 points out of 10. He's done a very good job for us. He's took care of our equipment. Very easy to work with, and all the guys are real pleased with him right now.
First says Craven will likely get back into the car later this summer at one of the team's tests to see how far along the road to recovery Ricky is.
The plans are now for LaJoie to stay in the 50 car through the Dover race the end of May. After that, Randy's Busch Series schedule begins to conflict with the Winston Cup schedule.
Tuesday, the team plans to announce the driver who will take over relief duties at Richmond the first weekend of June. Among the candidates, Wally Dallenbach Jr. Sources tell me he is leaving the number 46 Sabco racing team and will be replaced by Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd had been driving in relief of the injured Mike Skinner. Dallenbach is also a candidate to fill in that car, too. Jeff Bodine missed his first race of the season when he failed to qualify for Sunday's Die Hard 500 at Talladega. Even though Bodine had been making races, he'd experienced a rough season, with only one top 5 finish and 5 finishes of 31st or worse through the first 8 races. So last week, the team decided to release crew chief Tim Brewer and replace him with Pete Peterson, who had previously worked as Darrell Waltrip's crew chief. Racing at Talladega proved dangerous not only to drivers but also to some fans over the weekend. 4 fans were injured by flying debris after one of the many crashes during Saturday's Busch Series race. 3 of the fans were treated at the scene for cuts and bruises, but a female fan required surgery on her right hand after receiving a complex laceration. From the fast lane, John Kernan, ESPN.
All right, John, the California 500 next up for the gentlemen of Winston Cup, and you can see it right here on ESPN Sunday, 3:30 Eastern. RPM tonight, by the way, in Fontana all weekend on the Deuce, starting Friday at 7 Eastern.
Fast Lane is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. At Napa, we keep America running.
Coming up, there may be no place like home, but we'll tell you something you may not know about home being nowhere in the NBA playoffs.
I don't ask for directions when I'm lost, and I don't read the instructions when I'm putting my kids' toys together, and I don't need help fixing my car. My friends, they go to Napa, where they get this expert advice from ASE certified professionals, which is great for them. They weren't born with the mechanical ability I was. If I can install a satellite dish, I can fix my own car. Honey, where's the duct tape?
From the depths of the Pacific, nature's biggest mystery is about to become man's greatest challenge. Godzilla rated PG-13 opens everywhere Wednesday, May 20th.
I'm Ironhead Hayward, and I challenge you to get cleaner, more refreshed with Zest deodorant body wash.
But Ironhead, I was gonna try it.
Well, quit crying and get to it.
Zest body wash. Get cleaner, more refreshed.
Get zestfully clean.
Friday morning's breakfast at Churchill Downs to highlights of the race immediately after its run on Saturday. Tune into ESPN and ESPN2. It's the Run for the Roses on ABC, and it's a weekend of winning Derby coverage beginning Friday only on ESPN and ESPN2.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Corona Beer. Change your whole latitude with Corona Extra.
Well, the Cavs snapped a 7-game home playoff losing streak on Monday, Stuart.
Yeah, but it is not a record. Did you know the team with the most consecutive playoff losses at home? The 76ers. Philly lost 9 straight from 68 through 71, despite the presence of Billy Cunningham, Hal Greer on the floor. I just want to say, it's a very nice jacket.
I know, you've got excellent taste in clothes. I'm Reese Davis.
I'm Stuart Scott. See you.
Bye.